and this is the Joe People's Podcast, episode number 12. And I'm live here in London with Mina.
Hi.
And Burnzy.
Let's go.
We're gonna do a quick adjustment of not of my private area, just of the camera. And then we're gonna get
that all danger.
Yeah, I've been known for that. My mom's gonna get on me for that one. Love you, Mom. So we're out here doing a video and just having fun and kicking it, and then we were in the park just chilling today. Yeah, I bought a pet midget. He's in the mail. He's coming. He's all good. Yeah. And then we're doing a podcast. So we want to talk about the relations between the U.S. and how we took this damn country back from these Brits on his birthday. Will it be 4th of July?
Well, you really want to go there?
Yeah, no, we don't start with that. We can build to that. But yeah, man, we'll talk about whatever. So
yeah, man. So we've been jamming. We met on Smule. If you don't know what Smule is, it's an app. You can download it. It's a singing app.
You could Google it.
Google it, whatever.
I think actually we were on auto rap first.
That's true.
True story.
Auto rap was the beginning of many things.
Yeah. For real. And when you download that, well, yeah, we just went headfirst into making songs, singing together, and then it turned into group songs, group chats, group collaborations,
battles,
and then actual making groups where we would like battle each other, and this is how we met each other.
And now we're here, and now we're going to talk about, I think, Brexit. How do I say it? Brexit.
Yeah.
Not
breakfast.
Like breakfast. Not breakfast.
breakfast.
Yeah, there we go.
Even though that proper English breakfast, I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys got a little
You
too
don't
much.
like the full English, no?
The what is it? Black pudding?
No, it's the.
Well, it is the black pudding.
That's what they call it.
You got the sausage, bacon, beans, mushrooms, tomatoes,
and blood sausage, right?
Black pudding.
That's what black pudding is. Blood sausage.
I wouldn't know because I don't eat that. But
Okay, yeah.
You've had black pudding, come on.
No, I haven't ever.
Really?
No.
Fair enough.
Not last week.
Not that kind of black
different style.
That's for another day.
That's for another time. But yeah.
So what's going on with this whole Brexit thing? Now, if you guys want to travel, now things all change for your visas and stuff, right? Because you're not like in the EU, so you can't technically. I don't know if you guys looked at this, but can you travel like
in 2017? I went to Sweden with my boy.
Yeah.
So it's like April 2017. When I went to see my boy, it was like literally got my passport. I went to see him.
Okay.
Now, as far as my internet reminds me, like I think you got to do like.
Your internet.
My intellect of this subject.
The memory of it.
My memory serves me. I have to now like sign a visa and do all this mad shit. So it's just like, it's a lot.
It's gonna get tougher on all that.
Oh, I mean, I haven't travelled for a while, so I will get back to travelling next year. Hopefully, catch some flights and stuff. So then I will experience.
Finding new versions of what it's all going to be.
Yeah.
Is it all finalized or no? Because I think some
it's not finalized. It's not finalized.
It's like,
I think it's finalized.
It's finalized and it's certain, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. So I was reading something and some guy was complaining, like, because like talking about the fish industry, like you can bring like import the fish and stuff. Like, that's gone through the roof. Like to import and export.
Well, that's the weird thing. When I was in Ireland, they were talking about Northern Ireland. So now, like, you guys are an island. They're an island, but now they have to get their stuff from only you, and they're not going to go buy from EU, and they're putting up that border.
Now you have to involve the people in the middle. You know how to do it, like add people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
do you think your prices are going to go super higher too?
Because
you're not doing any negotiating, right?
You used to be able to get like a bit of salmon for like £3.
Yeah.
Like a nice slab of salmon. Now it's like.
Oh yeah, because you're a pescatarian.
I'm a fishman. Now it's like $4.50. It's already gone up like £1.50 per fish.
This guy is fishy. Before he told me that story about meeting that guy he met online on Grindr, or what is it, Tinder or Grindr?
A fun fact about you talking about fish, there was a video that I saw that basically had the historical kind of fish context in money. So like in money you've got pictures and stuff, and there's actually fish, the symbol of fish is there.
Okay.
So, because you talked about fish, and I'll elaborate with it later when I remember.
I think
I'm not sure where you're going.
I think what you're on about when you say there's bank, like you bank onto the thing.
Yes, the fish.
You got like I know what you're on about.
Yeah.
Like
it's fish symbolism.
Yeah. And it's not so much fish symbolism. It's more like ocean symbolism. It's like the
So
way, like everything relates, like money or the bank
money, yes.
relates to
Marital,
some way.
is maritime law.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the banking system, merchant banking, that's all related to, you either got the two, you either got land law or you've got maritime law.
Oh yes, this I know about. I have my boating license, so.
But here as well,
yeah.
maritime law.
Yes, and a lot of laws
Yeah.
are maritime law, people don't know that around money,
Mhm.
based around money.
Okay.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, because you could also like this was an interesting thing when they had all the cruise ships, right?
Mm.
So they used to have cruise ships to nowhere. Like you could take it from New York, you go out for a night, you do a circle, you come back to New York. But they got rid of it because what happens is people gamble and do all these other things. It's like who gets paid, who's the taxes. You're like, oh, the seas, it's just out there.
Yeah,
so it's like it's a loophole. They're like, nah, you can go somewhere and you can gamble on the sea, but you have to like arrive somewhere the next day. You can't do that. So there's different. Yeah, they try to change the laws and do all that.
That's my friend in Sweden. He's saying there's a place in Denmark because like Denmark and Sweden are like the equivalent of like England and Scotland. You can just like travel over.
Okay.
But there's a place that you can take a cruise out into some certain part in the sea, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's you can just get absolutely wrecked. You can do what you want. You can take
Drugs, whatever.
But you're not accountable.
It's a loophole.
No, you're not accountable.
Because you're not part of the country.
The police and they deliberately take you out on a cruise ship,
Okay, to
like
do that.
as a party thing,
Yeah.
and you can just like do what you want,
so
basically.
that's
Not
why
do what you want,
But
but
that's
there's
why those parties are. Is that the same with the air when they have parties?
yeah, there's ones in the air. There's ones in the air too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there's like these weird places,
Loopholes,
like, these weird little loopholes where you can actually get away with like.
But now,
drinking and
I just got back. I mean, Amsterdam. I mean, you can mostly do anything you want there too. Washington, not Washington D.C., but Washington up north in the U.S. They decriminalize every drug. You could shoot heroin, you could do crack, no consequences. So there's always a place, which, I mean, I guess it's better than throwing people in jail and not trying to like help them out. But at the same time, like I don't think I'd want to live in a city where everything was legal. You know what I mean? It's a little much.
Or do you think that on the counter side of it, somebody could argue and say, well, if something's allowed, then people
won't do it.
People won't be pushing to do it as much because the moment you say to, for example, a child, don't do that, what will the child do?
1,000,000%.
It will listen to the don't bit and turn it into do.
Yeah, of course. They want a challenge, and that's for sure. Because I talked to some restaurant owners, and they were like, we were really busy during the pandemic because it was like limited seating, and people felt like it was kind of like living on the cusp. And then when they got opened up, they're like, everyone went away. Because like, oh, we can go here. Who cares?
yeah, but
you know? They want to do what they couldn't do.
I don't know if that's like what you was just touching on, but imagine like in the States now where you're opening up, like a lot of the states are opening up saying like you can smoke weed, right?
Yeah.
It's like so everyone's smoking weed, so now the money is going into the government, right? They're making like billions more than they did.
Sure,
so that's obviously taken out
The
drug dealer guy who was
yes.
making. So maybe that does take away a little bit of the gun crime and the gang culture crime, right?
Well,
but at the same time, does that mean that everyone's going to start puffing because they're not scared to? Or does it mean that people are going to stop puffing because they're like, well, fuck this because it's going to the government now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You get a little bit of both.
And that goes with everything.
And we got to
remember, remember, they remember back in the 1920s in your country.
Prohibition.
When they had the prohibition, it's like no one could drink.
I remember.
What did people do? They started making like moonshine and shit.
Bootlegging.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's just like, back then everyone, they made a way to get drunk.
I think
It made crime.
I think what people do is they always try to, when there's a scenario, there's always a group of people who try to get around or try to adapt and be a bit more versatile. There's always another kind of diversion, another way of getting something done or doing something.
For sure. Or another way to go to, because other things got popular too. But yeah, I remember the Prohibition. I was pretty young, but I do remember it. I think I saw it like Boardwalk Empire and a million other shows. But yeah, actually, that's the thing is that the organized crime got really big, and that's the big thing.
That's the thing. That's what happened on the cusp of that. Like this is like the Capone days and that. Because like the Peaky Blinder days. Like obviously, I know that's a fictional thing. But that's like the same sort of era.
Peaky Blinders.
They were a real family. They were a real family. But
Yeah.
what about like that's. Obviously, in Britain, we didn't really have that, like the banning of alcohol. But in America, you had that. So, like what you said, it turned into like a crime ring.
And people that had money would go to like Cuba. Because it was right there, and you could do it legally.
And then transfer it over.
There's always ways around, and that's the weird part is because when we live below Mexico, big thing is the cartel, and it's always scary, right? And
when did that start, the cartel? Is that being like? Because I know it hasn't been.
No, it hasn't been forever. The thing, it has been
like
there.
50s or something.
No, so it's been around a long time, and I can't tell you exactly, but they all used to be like little private gangs.
Oh,
So when they started clicking up and stuff, that's why I don't know
Yeah.
if you watch Narcos on Netflix, they have a good breakdown of all that. So one guy, Felix Guerrero, brought them all together back in 60s,
I'm
something
saying
like
like
that,
60s, yeah.
like maybe the 60s. So when he brought them all together, they got powerful, and the big thing is the big revenue is drugs. They make revenues in every way, but that's because America is the biggest drug consumer, and they're just bringing it to us. So if we get rid of them, yeah, there'll be less fentanyl, maybe less deaths, all that crazy stuff. But are they going to go away? Probably not. What are they
Just
going
be
to do?
underground.
Well, the other thing is forget the drugs. What are they going to do? They already do like sex trafficking. Is that going to increase? Are they going to rob? Are they going to
Okay, so you're basically saying
like they're going to make money either way. So
Yeah.
if you take something out, what's going to give?
what's a substitute, basically?
Yes, what's going to happen?
They're
Yeah.
going to look for different ways of
Make revenue.
Yes.
And they're not going to be like going to banks and investing in IBM and stuff. Like they're going to do some shady stuff. So
Yeah.
that's the tricky part is that.
And maybe inventing even a new crime.
Yeah.
Something that hasn't happened, but a new.
Well, there was also like sometimes it's weird crime. So like there was a Netflix special about avocados, how they're like terrible from the
And they
miners.
put it inside the avocados.
No.
Have you seen that where they put the cocaine inside
Yeah,
the avocados?
yeah,
Have you
that's
seen that?
There's some other
Yeah.
shit. The avocado companies were making so much money that the cartel said, "Nah, we want that," and they just started doing their own stuff.
Oh,
They were
yeah,
taking
yeah.
all the waters from the.
Avocados.
So they were taking all the
Yeah,
water.
yeah, I see that.
Really?
Yeah, avocados are water, like they need so much water. They were taking it off in the communities, and the communities were like dying, not having water. But they're like,
Wow.
"Fuck you, you know, we're
What
not."
was,
So
what, was
there's always
the,
crazy.
what was the guy, what's his name again? The most powerful bloody coke drug dealer in Colombia. What was his name
Oh,
again?
Pablo.
Pablo.
Pablo Escobar. Yeah.
Pablo Escobar. Remember, like, Colombia got so broke and they was like miners. And Pablo Escobar was like, he had so much money and power. He was like, listen, I will buy out all of your debt.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like, literally, he did do that. And I think like the debt was like 12 billion. And he was just like,
The interesting part
I'll
about
buy it out. Because he was making like literally like $1 billion a week or
crazy,
something.
crazy amounts.
Mad shit.
It's crazy because when I was in Colombia, that was one thing is people were very polarized about Pablo. It depends on the city. So he.
No, he's a crazy murderer.
Well, that's the thing. No, so it's weird. So like in Medellin, right? That's where he's from. There's a bunch of people that are like, "Fuck that dude." You know, my family members got bombed, and we'll never forgive him and stuff. But then we were in Guatapé, which is this beautiful city right outside, right? And he had residence for him and his wife and his kids and everything there, and they love him because it was a poor community. He poured a lot of money in and did a lot of good things, and they didn't see bombings and other stuff. So it depends on where you're at. Some people like.
Well, it's like us now in the
Some people
Western
see the
world.
savior.
We don't see us bombing Afghanistan or you know all them places. You know what I'm saying? It's like Palestine's getting absolutely obliterated, bro.
Yeah.
And now like America's joining up with Israel, and they're like, this, I'm not going to get into all the
politics
right now.
right now.
I'm not going to make this podcast like political or like racist or whatever or religious.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Oh, and there's there's always terrible atrocities that are going on that we're like, we can't have this, and there's terrible atrocities we just turn our head and be like, whatever, or partake in.
We're sitting there drinking our alcohol and doing a podcast, but there's people in the world. Like,
some of us have alcohol, some have juice.
Some of us are, you know.
Well, me and Joey.
Some of us are unresponsible. Cheers, brother.
Some of us are very responsible. But it's amazing because the course that I'm doing right now, one of the subjects is about crime media and race. And everything that you've just spoke about is about what I'm studying to a certain degree. And it's interesting because each thing overlaps with each other. Like you can't separate things. They always interconnect. There's always a connection.
Yeah. That's tricky, actually. It's tricky because that's like whenever they're trying to solve a math problem or whatever science problem, it's like, what are the variables? Because you think, oh, this is pretty easy, and you start doing it, you're like, oh, I forgot about this whole other effect that just goes down or up, and there's never a perfect thing.
If something's always going too good here,
yes.
something's going too bad here.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's a fact.
Yeah, but that's like all these things when we have like phones and they're all very reasonably priced and stuff, but they have nets outside of these places so that people don't jump and kill themselves because they try to all the time. So why can't we just pay a little more and make it fair? Like all these sweatshops and all this crazy stuff. But we all partake in these systems, you know what I mean? Whether we know it or not, you know?
I think there's not enough information of the truth out there. I think we are so we're so basically brainwashed. I'm not saying specifically me, you, or yourself, but generally, on the whole, we're brainwashed and we're just sold a certain image or a certain perspective, which is so opposite to the truth.
And it's very much the image of where you live and who you are and what they're trying to sell you the narrative, like the media in that area.
Or where you live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your narrative will be different than mine because of
Yeah,
what's on
but
TV. Not that neither was
But you got to remember, the Russians' narrative will be completely different to the Ukrainians.
Yes.
That's
a fact.
Yeah.
Like the Ukrainians, like and we're like back the Ukrainians. I'm not saying who's right or wrong.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is in Russia,
They have a whole
they
different
think
side.
they're doing something
Yeah.
good.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, but that's because of the tabloids, the news media, the internet. Like in China, they don't even have Facebook.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
And then the
Do you
winners.
know why they don't do that? Because China know that if they start getting westernized,
Yeah.
they're going to start going against
Overthrowing
China.
their government.
And actually, they have
Exactly.
that. They have the thing. The emperor or whatever. There, he looks like Winnie the Pooh. Apparently, you know this.
Which one are you talking about?
So of China. So if you
Alright.
if you Google Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse shows up. They banned
Really?
Oh,
they
really?
banned the image. They banned the image. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yes, because they control the internet.
But that's what the winners write history. So that's the thing is whenever you look at wars and stuff, always try to look at everything that happened, and whoever wins, it's always their version
You
of the
see,
story.
it's
Always.
funny because the word history is his story.
There you go. That's true.
So that's another perspective
Yeah.
of his story.
Yes.
So imagine all the history that's written out there, but what about all the history that was out there that's been taken away or wanted to be out there but never got the chance?
But
For sure.
you know what I always think as well. Some people say, "Oh, this is bullshit." Like, there was other libraries, you know, the Library of Alexandria that got burnt down, and that was like apparently like.
Was Alexander the Great?
I think he was the one who made it. I'm not sure my history is cracks, so like, don't count me on it. But there was a library in Greece.
Fact check.
But no, it was called Library of Alexandria, right?
Okay.
And it had all the scrolls of all these scrolls. No, but all of the past history. No, but how they built the pyramids.
Yes, yeah.
All this
Okay,
shit, like
okay.
some shit that we don't know now. It was all stored in this library.
I
And
watched something
You've
yesterday.
seen it? Have you seen
I
it?
watched something yesterday about the pyramids. Was it yesterday or the day before? Basically, pyramids. We think they have just got certain signs, but there's nine sides. There's nine sides.
It's not
to the
three sides.
pyramid.
No,
it's not. So this is stuff we don't
Oh
know.
no, yeah.
But these buildings they existed before, but we don't know about it. It's only certain information that's been found and then.
No, but just imagine this library never got burned down. And you know, they burned it down in the
Exactly.
they
did it on purpose.
They did it on purpose.
They did it on purpose.
So people say that there was other libraries around the world that had other no.
Well, the centre,
Not this library,
to
right?
my research, what I found out was the centre of education was in Constantinople,
Right.
which is in Africa.
Yeah.
And people don't realise that. And that's
Yeah.
like, it was that
Africa's definitely the centre of it.
northeastern
definitely
part of
right,
Africa. But people won't know that. They'll
No,
think
no.
that it was the Western civilizations who started off inventions or had all this knowledge and stuff.
No.
It wasn't. There was
Yeah.
other civilizations before, all these conquests and all these travelers went around the world and claimed, oh, hey, here's my Spanish flag, here's my Portuguese flag, here's my English flag or whatnot, my British flag.
Yeah.
There were people who were in civilizations who were doing fine.
Oh yeah, of course.
They were functioning wonderfully. In fact,
they weren't
they were
explorers. They were
more advanced than them.
they weren't explorers. They were conquerers. They took over and claimed this is us.
Why
Yeah.
couldn't they be more advanced than us now? Just because
Of course.
we've now, I mean, look, 100 years ago, so we're talking 3 grandparents ago.
Yep.
Literally 3
Yeah.
grandparents
Essentially.
ago.
Yeah.
They didn't have phones, right? They didn't have internet and all that bollocks, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Way
so
more
isn't
than
that
that,
wacky
yeah.
to think that 3 grandparents ago, they was rolling around completely unconnected the way we are,
Unconnected
right?
to the big
Well, that's like
world.
one grandparent to go, really.
But
That part.
if you keep going back, there's just this gap, and it's like a 2,000 years is a long ass time. There's a gap where it's just like nothing got invented.
Yeah.
No one, like, you telling me not
Of
one
course.
human being invented nothing?
Of course, there was so much
Like
invention.
not one person. So then it skips this 2,000 years, and then it's just like and then it's just the pyramids, and then it's the Bible, and then it's all this other shit.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
No,
Something dodgy is going on in
in
2,000
between,
years.
for sure. But also, I think it also is like computers and speed. Everything moves faster in time. So I think
Now it does.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. At some point, like it rapidly excelled, and I think a big part of that is we were so focused on like just eating and not starving to death and just getting sheltered. It was like hard.
Basically,
It
your
was
basic
hard.
needs.
Basic needs,
Yeah,
for sure.
your basic
But
needs.
way
were-
beyond that now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
almost
but
any
why
civilization.
wasn't they beyond that then? Because remember, 200,000 years. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about we've been around for 800, 900
No, I understand. Yeah.
200,000 years we've been here. You telling me not one of these motherfuckers woke up and thought, I'm going to figure out math, I'm going to figure out how to write language, I'm going to figure out how to...
They were also ruled by like
Something
Iron Fist for a long time too. Like they wouldn't. It just worked for us. You know, we were never going to give you shit like the emperors and stuff. For a long
But
time,
I think like things like astrology and planning.
The Egyptians knew about
Yeah,
it.
about
And the Greeks.
you know, the sciences that people think that now they've discovered things, but really there was texts and religious texts even referred to science stuff that now they've just found out.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was knowledge before, but people.
You know, they found scrolls from this ship. I can't remember the exact date or time or where it was, but it was predated before the Bible actually got officially and it was telling a different story of the Bible.
Maybe that was the original version.
I know.
Yeah, not the King James.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because you know, you got the Testament, you got the New Testament, the Old Testament, like that's come on, man.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, don't add this, you do add that. Don't add this, do add that.
It's confusing.
They're taking bits out that you don't want to hear, and they're putting bits in you do want to hear.
Yeah.
I'm not so much a Catholic or Christian. Yeah. I'm not so much religious, but I do believe in an entity. I don't know what it is, who it is, where it is, what it is, but I believe something's there.
That's good. I don't you need to focus on who or what.
Right, something's going on. Yeah. Because do you know why we're here? Honestly.
No, I mean,
do you know why we're here?
It's like an absolute answer. Everyone's got their own opinion.
No, not according to anything. Do you actually know why we're here? Tell the truth.
Well, we've got to be here for a reason.
No, but do you know? No, you don't.
The reason will be your life. Your life is here for a reason, and you will only know when you've lived your life. When you've lived your life on the earth. If you come in to do, if you think about certain people, great people, like, you know, like Martin Luther King or Muhammad Ali, I'm going to give you examples of what I think are great people.
Yeah.
They didn't just come here, they came here for a reason. We've all come here for a reason.
Do you reckon they got put here, like, spiritually?
Spiritually, they came here to do something.
I believe that.
They were the chosen one to do it. They fitted the bill,
they had that
and
energy,
they did it.
Put it out there.
Because not everybody can be like them. Otherwise, why wouldn't we be walking around and being these great people? There'd be so many of us, right? But they're a select few. They've got to have certain qualities.
You know what confuses me? And like what you said, I agree with 100%. But what confuses me is like, why do you get these, like, say you've got like 1 million people in a room and you just get that one evil motherfucker? He's pure evil. Like no matter, you can do whatever you want, you can't heal him. He's just an evil motherfucker. He's gonna butcher your family and rape your kids. And
it's like
but who put him there? Because if he's here for a reason, if God put the good people like Martin Luther King and all that, who put that evil motherfucker? Does that mean the devil Satan is real? All right. Cool.
Whether you believe in religion, God, or whatever, or you just believe in like yin and yang or nature or whatever, it's like you don't appreciate the sun out until you see the dark, and you don't appreciate.
Yeah, but why?
Why
does it have to be a yin and a yang? Why can't it just be yin?
Because then it would be like our spiritual growth and our understanding would be to a certain point.
Is that fair on the yang guy then?
Do you know what? I know what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying. But in that suffering, whoever's had that terrible suffering, how bad it is and terrible, and like there's things that we can't even imagine that's happened to people, right? They've been traumatized. Maybe their generations have been traumatized and whatnot. But there's been a reason for it. There's been a reason. So I now think to myself, even in the badness, something good comes out.
Always. Nothing's 100%.
Even though it's terrible what's happened and you can't condone it and you wish it never happened, right? You never wish it to happen to anyone. People you love or anybody, even a stranger, but you think to yourself, there's a reason. There's such a powerful reason for it.
I think we also, as humans, we grow through struggle. We strive for this easy life, but we really don't want that. If let's say you came home, right, and you had like what you find is the perfect wife, and she always wants to have sex, always cooks your favorite food, you win the lottery every time you play. After a while, you're just like, life is the most boring shit ever. It's always the same, and I know how it's gonna come out. So when you have those hardships, they just make it like better for the good times when they come out. So you need to feel better. And you grow more through struggle. Think about good music, right? Some of the people that make the best music went through some of the worst times in their life to make. So you need struggle to grow. You know.
Right. But no, I understand both points you're making, but the point I'm making is like some people, I feel like they come here and they're literally chemically unbalanced. They like, do they even have a chance? Do they even have a leg to stand on? That they come here and they're literally destined to be a arsehole.
I think.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're saying.
It's like, where do they stand?
But
in
I think
situation?
those people have got a psychological problem.
No, but I'm saying it's almost like this. I'm not sticking up for you. I hate those people.
I know.
I want to condone them. I'm not sticking up for them. I'm just
why
saying.
Do they exist?
Why do they exist? Why?
That's what I'm saying.
I know you say yin and yang and like good and bad and all that, but sometimes it's just like it doesn't make sense to me.
But you have to
put struggle, yes.
You have to be able to accept them in a weird way. Like, you don't have to like them or enjoy them. But you have to be able to deal with them as part of life. You know.
You know the English actor / comedian Stephen Fry. He made a good point. He was like, why? He's like, because he's anti-God, right? But not in a horrible
way. He's atheist.
But he's like,
fine.
Why would God make kids grow up in like Africa, for example? Why would God make children be born with blood cancer? All that, and he was making a load of good points. In my head, I'm thinking it's a valid point. Why?
Yeah.
And you can say because it's going to make them good, but it's like
see,
how do we make it good over bad if like me and you say we had a kid or something, and our kid was born and like our kid died or something, then it would make me and you stronger, right? I see your point. But if the kid is born, the kid hasn't got a fucking chance.
But then because life has got that cycle of birth and death, right, and everything that in between that happens between birth and death, and in between that birth and death phase, so for example what you've just said about that child who's sick and dying
has got no choice.
Has no choice, but there might be somebody you think, you know what, I want to go and help these people. I want to go to Africa or Asia or wherever it is, South America, and I want to go and help these people. Maybe I'll start a charity. Maybe then I'll get loads of people with me to support me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the bigger picture.
I see what you're saying, but it's quite a bad sacrifice though, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, maybe
it's like you sacrifice this kid to make these women or men better from another world. Like,
but it's like a war though. There has to be certain sacrifices in life. Like
it's alright. This kid, this poor kid is gonna suffer, but these people gain.
But if you look on the spiritual side of things, earthly struggle is one thing, but you know that once earthly struggle is conquered, on the spiritual side it means nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
There's also this famous quote. I don't know who says this, but like it's like on you see on a grave, right? There's a year you were born, a day you were born, and a day you die.
Sunset and sunrise.
You have no control of those things. They just are what they are. What you control is the dash in between.
Exactly.
And that's when you can put out or do whatever you want to do or be a part of it, because you can let that terrible thing that happened ruin you, or you can make it stronger, or you can fight, or you can make, like you said, like some kind of organization or help something else. So you never know.
Do you know what you're saying? Like my son was telling me this. He said to me, "Mum, you can have two siblings, come from the same parents, right?
Yep.
The father is example. The father is an alcoholic.
Yep.
Now you've got the two siblings, the two sons. One can go down the same route as the father as a choice.
Yes.
And the other one can repel it and say, you know what, I don't want to go down that path. I want to change my life.
Yeah.
So it's about your choice that you make.
Yeah.
We're open to, like, we've been given a conscious. Some people may not agree with me, but we're superior to animals. Animals have got a lot of things that we can look at, reflect, and learn. But we humans have we've got that intellect. We've been given that intellect, and it's what we do with our brain.
Yeah.
It's an awareness, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an awareness.
It's a choice as well, because at the end of the day, everything we make is a choice.
I always find it fascinating. I know it's like the size of our brain and blah blah blah, but I always find it fascinating. Like if we're talking about Darwinism, like evolution, did we turn into this through the apes and all that? All right, science says we don't, religion says we don't.
Yeah.
But I think like whatever it is, I always think, what is consciousness? Consciousness is a very bizarre thing, which none of us know nothing about. Consciousness, not the brain. Like we know that the brain, like when you store memories, it's about neural pathways. How like we literally have like electricity sparking off in our brains. Like when you, like I'm looking at you now and I say, "Oh, let's have a beer." Like your brain is like sparking off. You know, it's letting off something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like we're doing this podcast. I'm speaking to you. I'm not consciously saying to you, "Hi, Mina." I don't say, In 3, 2, 1, I'm going to say hi, Mina.
Yeah,
you don't do that. You just say it, right?
It's
because
automatic.
it's subconsciously said.
Yeah.
Like I don't say my heartbeat 1,
Yeah.
my heartbeat 2.
Yeah.
I don't say lungs breathe.
Yeah.
It's all subconscious,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a very, very peculiar. We don't know nothing about it, basically.
I think to a certain extent, human beings, it's automatic. Your heartbeat and your breathing.
It's subconscious, apparently.
You're looking, you're doing stuff. It's we don't even like once a baby learns how to walk, they don't say now right. Tomorrow I've got to learn how to walk again.
I'm gonna walk up today.
Yeah, we do it. It's like automatic. That's
some take longer than others, but
they get there.
They do it.
So it's like a natural, innate thing to
nature.
Yeah.
But what is that? That's
But
what I'm
then-
saying. It's so confusing.
Let me 180 this and before, like, get it out before you guys are like, what? What if, and this is just a weird thought, what if it's actually the opposite, right? What if, like, the whole world of all the other animals look at us and say, these are the stupidest animals? Because, listen to this,
They might be interlocking.
85% of communication is supposed to be nonverbal, right?
Yeah,
So we talk, we worry, we think about stuff. They just, like, procreate, eat, and live life. They have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. What if they all could speak, but they're like, why would we do that? That's the worst choice ever. Don't necessarily think that's true, but I'm just throwing that out there as a whole random thought. Anything could happen. Like other animals can be like a dolphin supposed to have a bigger brain or no more than us. But they're like, these stupid motherfuckers. Like, why would they do this?
I think the only species that does that, there's 2 I think that do that communicate like what you just said. It's the dolphins. And elephants.
Yeah.
I think elephants communicate physically, but I don't know if there's any like telepathy going on.
I think there is. I've heard some elephant stories that are amazing.
And people say that they stare at their eyes. It's like
if you
feel what they're feeling almost.
But if you get a 9-month-old elephant and you whip it and it looks at you, and then 25 years later you look at it, it remembers you, and it won't like it.
Yeah.
That's why they say memory like an elephant.
I remember on a video.
But like dolphins, they communicate. And it's not just like through their
Yeah.
clicks and all that they do. No, you know how smart. Oh my, they recognise themselves in the mirror.
Yep.
They communicate. They call each other names. Like they've proven that they call each other. They have names for each other. Like, you know, there's creatures under the fucking water that live under the water that call each other names. Really?
Yeah.
Are we not really like finding this fascinating right now?
No,
that shit's crazy. That shit is crazy.
It's amazing, and it's the wonders of life, and it's the miracles of life.
Yeah.
Because you can't. That's not a human thing. That's for me. That's a God-given
thing, yeah.
That's
It's
that is proof.
But that proof that they have some type of self-awareness and, in my head, a conscience.
So when I said earlier on, when I referred to animals, I didn't mean that they're inferior. They have their own communities. They have their own way of interacting with each other. Like you just said, they have their there's intelligence levels, various intelligence levels.
Oh yeah, we're the highest level of intelligence.
But at the end of the day, well, I mean, people can even question about that.
What we know, what we know,
like what you said. I mean, you
what we know, what we know.
Well, that's the thing. Let's just say, right? Everyone talks.
So basically, what was I saying about? Yeah, but no. So
referring
back to the animals,
like.
Much respect, because from animals we can learn some stuff. Like,
absolutely.
We can learn some great stuff, and even like inventions and things. You know, like the helicopter. The helicopter was invented by someone who. What's those brown things that whirl around from the tree?
Yeah. I think they call propellers just like the helicopter. I think they're called propellers.
I don't know what they're called, but they're
brown.
They spin down.
They spin down. So I mean, someone saw it in nature, got inspired, and think, wow, if that can propel like that in the air, I can invent a helicopter. I can invent a
And that's not the first time. Bloody, what is it? What's that? Not paracetamol, the other one.
Penicillin.
Penicillin, that's from fungi, bro.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought? Let me get this disgusting fungi and turn it into something that cures people. And that's another weird thing. Like all our ancestors, and that's why I like you know about Dr. Sebi. Like he's talking about drinking sea moss and doing all this kind of shit. No one ever thought about it. But that's what ancestors done. They used to mix up ginger.
They didn't have this.
They
the
didn't
pharmaceutical industry just developed.
Because the pharmaceutical
in the
industry is
900s,
designed to
isn't it?
keep us dead.
Yes.
That's actually one of the things I don't know how it works here, but like it's a big thing in the world that we have like Western medicine and Eastern medicine. And in other parts of the world, they still do respect a lot of those things and they become doctors and they get certified with those kind of things. Now, granted, they still believe in like surgeries and other thing else. It's just they use these things when possible. And The other thing that's weird is like the placebo effect, right? So we're always like leaning against it. We do all these double-blind surveys with the placebo effect. But like, if you gave someone a sugar pill and like cured cancer,
That's what I'm
not
saying.
going that far. What's wrong with that? Why do we lean into
But
that?
that is the
Like the mind.
amazing thing about our human brain.
Yeah.
Our human brain is what we make.
You know, there's a nocebo, right?
Hmm?
That's what I was just saying. There's a nocebo.
So it's the opposite. So people
Yeah.
that actually take the real thing and just don't cure because their brain.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's been proven. There is.
I believe it. I just
They get told that this isn't going to help you.
Yeah.
So
Which
what
is
happens? Their brain accepts the fact
Yeah.
that it's not
And
going
you
to
know,
help you.
yeah.
So you've already, before even anything's happened, you've already made. That's how amazing our brain is connected to our body.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I'm going to say I'm healing, I'm getting better, I'm feeling well, even if I'm not feeling the best, but if I tell myself that, eventually I do. For me, affirmations and psychology, and then the linguistics with the brain and neuro, all of that. I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, me too.
That really like fascinates me, and I
Yeah,
me too.
think to myself, I think if you have that, if you're in touch with that part of you in your brain
Mhm.
and what you say to yourself, how you use your words. I'm sure many years ago, like I probably told you, like maybe word things a little bit different, because when you word things different, you're saying it. The outcome comes.
It's like a spell, isn't it, basically?
Yeah.
Mm.
I recently just learned not to say good morning because it's good morning.
You've just
Good
died.
morning.
Right,
Morning. Yeah. It's like a dying.
And that's just
Yeah.
one example.
Yeah.
Spell.
So now
Spelling is spelling.
Spelling, yeah.
Spells.
Yeah.
So words, there's certain words that you have to be really careful what you use.
Because they have like a negative
I
connotation.
know,
You think
like you
negative,
did
Yeah.
teach me that
Yeah.
years ago, but I've
Yeah.
recently come, yeah, but it is a thing.
yeah.
And it's like, why is, because the English language has been changed at least 5 times in the last very short period, like maybe 300 years.
Yeah.
Because we went from Latin, well, it went from Anglo-Saxon to Latin, probably Viking was mixed up there for a bit, and then into English.
Yeah. Over the Conquerors. Yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now it's just like, we've got this bug, and anyone who doesn't speak English, who learns another language, like I think you speak Bengali,
I speak
right?
Bengali.
Like
yeah.
you so you must know this.
Mm.
Anyone who I speak to that doesn't speak English as a first language, who learns English, they say it's the easiest language in the world to learn.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's piss easy because the vowels and the all that shit. They say.
Well, I think that's because it's newer too. That they've tried to make it simpler for
Yeah,
people along
it's
the
like
way.
when-
And some of the
when-
older
have you-
languages
have you
are
tried
tough
to learn-
for someone that's like not a native speaker. You know.
As an English speaker, have you tried to learn like Italian or Spanish? It's masculine and feminine.
Yes.
Straight away,
Yeah.
we don't do
We
that.
don't do masculine.
We don't do that here.
Yeah.
All right. So sidebar on this. Randomly, there's this new push, and this is all about like being politically correct and stuff. That not using gender in Spanish. And actually, it's in Argentina right now. They don't. So everything
they
instead
don't
of here,
use gender.
they don't
Well,
use
so they're not
gender
even using their own
in
language.
language.
How the fuck did they do it then?
So everything's like an A or an O. I think they ended
So
with
it's
like
not
they
he
ended
or
with
she.
like
Are
an
you being
E.
serious?
They ended with an E. No, it's not even about a guy or girl. You
Wow.
understand in Spanish, like this table is a woman.
Are you hearing this?
It's feminine. It's feminine.
Oh right.
So
Okay.
they no object, no.
Yeah, but they say
yeah.
LR, don't they?
So instead of being A or O at the end, I think they used an E, which is just like gender neutral, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like a new age thing, and
But
it's
how
just
was
super-
it?
How would the table be masculine and feminine anyway?
Well, that's what
just
I'm saying.
because I'm a female, so I have to say.
No, but I
table
don't-
No.
and
It's
then-
very confusing. So that's why, to me, as a non-native speaker, it doesn't really. I could care less. It doesn't affect me. But it's a big thing that like so men are still called men and women are still called women. They're not getting rid of gender. They're getting rid of gender for the glass, for the table. So it's weird. Why would the table be feminine? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my wife will say like, oh, there's a fly in the house. Let me get her out. It?
Mm.
You mean her? How do you know it's her? Like,
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
look at her genitals?
So is
Like,
that
you know, I don't get it. You know, like.
so is that like a Spanish thing then?
It is because the word it means feminine, like
It's like French.
100%.
Well.
Any Latin languages.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And Latin for people that are native English speakers, I think is one of the hardest languages I've heard. Chinese Mandarin might be like the hardest, and then like Latin's right up there too because Latin's like much harder than necessarily
I
Spanish
think
or
Korean's
French.
a hard one as
Korean,
well.
yeah. Korean's
yeah.
supposed to be really hard.
Yeah.
Was it who does the symbols? Is it Japanese? Because they don't have like an alphabet. Like every
Korean.
Is it Korean? I thought it was Japanese with the symbols. They look more like houses and stuff.
Yes, but.
But they don't have an alphabet though. The one I'm thinking of, all they do is every word is
Yeah.
a letter. Like you just memorize each one.
Oh right. Okay.
So I guess you can learn things like that, but it's tricky like putting it all together. It's a lot of memorization, you know.
Yeah. And the more alphabet you have, and the more sounds you have, the more you have to learn, the more it can. And sometimes with languages, I don't know if you've noticed, there's certain words that are the same, but they're a different symbol, they're different letter.
Oh yeah, there's always a couple different letters on different languages.
But they're the same sound.
In general, but there's also like in Spanish, I know muy poquito, just a very little bit, but a double L is a Y.
Okay.
English sounding.
Yeah.
And Enye is like a, or with the rolling R.
Yeah.
So there's a few, but in general it's the same. Actually, if I gave you a page written in Spanish, you had to read it, you might not understand any of it, but you pronounce most of it good. You would just sound like non-native,
Yeah.
We would understand what you were talking about if we spoke it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that it works like that. Burnzy. So, anyway.
It's very interesting.
Languages are interesting, and I hope and think that, like with Google Translate and everything else, that at some point we'll all just speak one language.
Do you think so?
I hope so. I don't see why we shouldn't. It's just tricky because no one wants to jump into that now. Like English would be, thanks sir.
But don't you think somebody would lose their identity if everything was generalized?
Yeah, that's my worry. Is that the thing is I don't believe 100% at all really that language is that huge an identity. It's a part, but I think that the biggest part of identity is the culture, and it's not. It's everything, right? But it would
It's
be
a bit of everything, I believe.
for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like really your beliefs and what you believe in, like how you feel, your holidays, your food, like what you see life as, like. So I don't want to get rid of any of that stuff, but I would love that we can. I don't care if it's like a helmet that someone invents or a little earpiece where you could put it in, speak a different language than me, and we automatically communicate. There just should be that.
I think there is. I think there's certain.
They have little sticks and things, but it's only one language and only one person could speak at a time. Like we were going back and forth, you wouldn't get it.
I mean, that'd be amazing.
We're not that far right now.
No, I'm sure that technology already exists anyway.
Yeah.
Because we're so behind technology.
The problem is it needs Wi-Fi, and like even though it's getting decent, it's not necessarily everywhere public. So I just want something where you can just communicate with anyone and make it available cheap enough that every country and place can do it. So.
I'll just make sure it was still live.
Yeah, we're still live. We're live in the house.
Can you save it though, yeah? Because we've been talking about some fucking really good, tasty stuff, bro.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm telling you, this beats all the podcasts like that. Well, at least the
I want to jump right into it. The thing that last time I did a podcast with Burnzy, I really enjoyed it, but honestly, I felt bad for my listeners and didn't want to like recommend to people that weren't
you know when
we did like Smule and Deep.
No, you know what it was? We was talking about Smule, we was talking about MMA, and I was thinking.
Battle rap. I mean, I was just getting into these like obscure cultures that like some of my friends and people that follow stuff love it, but for the general audience, they'd be like,
yeah, no, this is tasty.
Yeah,
can you save it after this and put it on like Insta and stuff?
Yeah, we'll get it.
I want to share it.
I got you.
Alright, cool.
Interesting. I mean, there's so much to talk about. There's so many subjects. We all are different people as well. We've got different backgrounds, but
Hi guys, I'm back.
But we're coming together, on a common ground.
Yeah.
Talking about what you're talking about, Elon Musk is talking about doing the exact same thing. He's talking about putting a chip in your cranium.
Neuralink.
So Neuralink. So now you have like, I'll talk to you and I'll be like, you talk a language. I'm like, yeah, all right.
So basically, I'll pick up what you already said before you're.
Now,
I'll pick up what you're thinking before you're saying it.
Have you you know what the first step is towards that?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Ray-Ban glasses that they got?
Yes,
Have you not seen them?
They're
right now they're advertising.
Oh, the Google glasses or whatever you're talking about.
No, the Ray-Bans. The Ray-Bans, you put them on your eyes like Ray-Ban glasses, but on the sides of them, they've got these little lenses, so you can take snapshots, screenshots, and you can post them to your fucking Instagram story.
Okay, because the one I know
that's naughty, isn't it? So sorry, but imagine if like you're doing a thing, and it's just like you're wearing your Ray-Ban glasses, bro.
It's crazy, yeah.
You know, I'm trying to. You see where my mind is going right now.
Google's had it.
I'm thinking, no, mate, that's a bit below the belt, isn't it?
Google's had it for a while, man. With the Google apps,
have they?
They didn't really catch on.
Yeah.
It's a little crazy.
I think that's a bit below the belt, mate. Like them Ray-Ban glasses, bro. I'm not trying to make this get a bit funky.
So the thing with Neuralink is I heard a million things of what it possibly could do, but as of right now, I don't know what it actually does. Like they want to do all these things. I heard that they want to make it so one of the coolest things I thought was like if you're quadriplegic, right? It's like your brain's not firing to a certain part of your spine, and they know that's what it is. That they're gonna fire that electronically and make you walk. That's amazing.
I hear that. Yeah, but that's only with certain people.
Of course, and it don't have to be a certain type and cut a certain way. My thing is this: I feel like I am not signing up for Neuralink anytime soon. But I'm not shutting it off either, because if that did become amazing enough, or I fell in a category, or even the language thing, like maybe I would try it at some point. It does sound.
Joe Rogan made it a good point. Yeah, he was like, imagine if everyone had that chip, and you was just like everyone's like super smart, right? Everyone could speak a language. Everyone had an encyclopedia in their fucking head. Everyone had Google in their head, like off the cusp, with that bang.
Yeah.
And you're just left there with your phone, like some dickhead. You'd be like, oh. How do you spell this, or what does this mean? And everyone's like firing off in the top of their brain. You're going to be left out, and you're like, oh, I want this now in my brain, because it's like, I feel stupid. That's where it's headed. Maybe not in art. I don't think it's going to happen in art. But maybe our kids or our grandkids.
Yeah.
Is it true? Because I think so.
It definitely could be, but then here's the thing too. If you really research like life, right, there's a big correlation between people who are highly intelligent and people that are highly depressed and or suicides and stuff, because like knowing too much a lot of times it does not make you happy.
That's a good point.
So that, I'm not trying to say we need to be stupid, but I also think there's a point of no return where like there's too much knowledge and you're not happy.
That's a good point.
So what's the point? Right?
And the thing with people that are highly intelligent who get depressed, like I'm prone to get depressed. I've been open about it in my songs now. I have no problem with like admitting it. I get depressed and anxious sometimes. Like so I get in some black hole sometimes.
And some of us brilliant people, that's how it works.
I've found that the people that do get prone to get depressed and into an anxious state are the people that are open-minded.
And they're also empaths.
And they are empaths. They feel the energy.
When you're an empath, you can't. It's like a blessing and curse all at the same time.
Yeah, 100%.
Sometimes you don't want to feel other people's pain, but because your natural, innate kind of feeling inside is drawn to that, you can't really cut it off. You can try and put healthy boundaries. You start, if you start researching about when you are an empath, how to protect yourself.
Yeah, be around good, positive people and stuff too. Because if you're around the wrong people,
because it will get you depressed and you will feel anxious, and then you think about the whole world and you think about suffering. Like you think deep. You don't think surface level. You think so deep.
Yeah.
Not everybody can get you.
100%.
Since I was little, since I was a little girl, if somebody had a problem, the first thing no one ever told me
you walk into the room,
the first thing I would think would be, that person's in a problem. How would I feel if I was them? I feel
empathetic,
and then I just transfer all that energy. But I've learned now, being much older, that you do have to.
You have to come back a bit.
You have to keep the energy to yourself as well.
Because
if you keep giving it out and you don't get any back, you end up fucking yourself.
And it's like, that's the famous thing when you're on an airplane and they tell you, if we are going down and the mask thing comes down, put on your own before your child, before anyone else, because if you can't help people.
Yeah, but what would you do if I'm a mother? Would I think about myself first? No.
No, you're putting on a kid.
I put it on my child. Even if there was another child that wasn't my child, I would still think.
No, but let's say hypothetically.
But if you do that too many, you're actually gonna die. You shouldn't hit it up, and then you can get everyone.
No, let's say hypothetically, there's no kids. You're just sitting next to a stranger.
You're
gonna put it on yourself first, right?
You should. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then you help them out.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. But you'd also be.
But I'd probably put it on the neck guy and be like,
this is what you need to do.
You have an old, like old disabled person right next to you and stuff. Like you're supposed to do yourself, but then whip it over right. If you don't do yourself, you can't help other people. That's the thing. It's like regular mental or body maintenance. Like if you don't take care of yourself and you're always worried about other people, eventually you can't help people. Yeah, you can't help them.
I mean, I went on a parenting course many years ago, and it said like, you've got a jug now, and you're the jug, and your jug is full, and you've got all these glasses around you, all these cups, and you're pouring into every cup. And what's left of your jug? There's barely anything there. That means that kind of symbolizes you. What's left of you? You can't deplete yourself.
Yes.
So you do.
You have to fill up a little more. Yeah.
You need to still be full to a certain degree before you pour.
Because you can't pour to anyone else because you'll be empty. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then like as a parent, your kids will suffer.
Yeah.
Because actually, if you're in a bad state, you're not going to be happy, and you're not going to give them that. They understand what's going on.
Yeah.
It's more of what you. I don't know. I don't have kids, but everything I read is like it's more of what you do than what you say too. Because you could say do this, do that, do this, do this, but if you're showing them a whole other story, like, and you don't have any of that good feeling, or you're not doing that for yourself, they're not gonna listen.
I think
my mom doesn't do that.
I think as a parent, as a mom, like your life changes as soon as you become a parent, because it's not about you anymore. Once you have that child,
1,000,000%.
I mean, not everybody thinks like this, but this is me. Like my child is so important. They come first.
Yeah.
Like they're they're a child, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
I'm the adult. And it's my job to care for them and nurture them.
That's like the difference between a parent and a mom and a dad. Because like a mom and a dad, technically you could have a kid and you're not there at all. But when you're a parent, you realize that you are never first anymore. You're never going to be first.
I don't understand people who don't put themselves first.
Yeah.
Put themselves first.
That's why I think it's quite important to not have kids too.
So you're ready. So you're ready. It's not even age. It's mental.
Yes.
Mental.
Because you know why? Because if you like my mum, she had me when she was 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a bit too young because like she hadn't even really because my mum went for her own shit like 14, 15, 16. When she got to like 17, 18, she started breaking out of that her own pain. She had me, and I was like, before she even had the chance to look after herself, she started to heal. She started to look after me, and I was like, so that started pouring into me, her pain. And then my dad was the same. My dad was like fucked up. He was like drinking all that, and so both of their shit started pouring into me. So now, when I grew up, I'm a bit fucked up. I've got my shit. So now it's like, do I pour it into my kids?
Or to get yourself straight.
Or do I straighten myself out first? And then? But how long does it take me to sort my shit out before I have kids? I don't know. That's a question.
And it's more of a feeling because you're never going to be fixed or 100%. It's like when you feel comfortable. There's no like, oh, today's the day. Yesterday I was terrible and I'm 100%. I was 99% yesterday. There's no bar. You know, like just when you feel.
But I think that's the case with a lot of families. Like you'll get a dad who meets the mum and they get married. Like this marriage thing as well, it kind of baffles me because luckily my mum and dad they never got married. So it's like when my old man died, so even if they did get married, it kind of would have
broke
anyway.
Would have been.
Let's say like hypothetically speaking, like it happens all the time, doesn't it? Like you'll get these people they meet, they marry, they have a kid, but by the time the kid gets to like 8 or 9. They start having these quarrels, these problems, and these dislikes, and they end up hating each other by the time like the kid's like 14, 15. But he's at that age where he really needs them both to be together. He really needs them. Like, or she really needs them. And it's just like, it's sad because that teenager, he's going to grow up confused, pissed off, angry, resentful. I hate my mum, I hate my dad. Why did they break up? Why did it? He thinks it's because of him, all that shit, right? And it's not. It's because you had 2 young adults, 25, 26, they met up, they had a kid 28, 29. By the time the kid was older, 36, 38, whatever, they want to part ways, and now it's like it's too late. Because they're like, oh, let's just keep it together for the kid, whatever. It's sad because now the kid's fucked up, the parents are fucked up, they're grumpy because they feel like they wasted a life on the person.
Do you think that maybe then if 2 people are so unhappy with each other that regardless of the age of the child that they should go their separate ways?
I think so. But they should make sure that it will never ever become some type of battle between the kid.
Well, yeah, that's where it gets tricky. Like, so when you break, it's like, are you both going to live relatively in the same area?
You should break up. You should break up and share the kid very equally and happily.
Co-parenting.
You know what I'm saying? Co-parenting. Like, you're going to go stay at your dad's today. No beef. You're going to stay at your mum's today. No beef.
No, I agree.
None of this like.
I agree.
You got to give me alimony and all this shit. No, you don't do that.
I agree. But then let's say like it happens to me and a woman in the UK. And then I get a great job opportunity in America. Now it's really tricky because it's like, fuck, I could really help my kids and my family financially. Yeah, or would you guys move with me? Now it's like a tricky thing because we're not even a family per se, not a typical family. But that's what's getting cool now.
But how long? But are you doing it at the age where the kid's like 6 or 7?
I don't know. Yeah, it's all hypothetical. It does matter for sure. Agreed. Yeah.
But I think that the biggest for me personally, my old man died when I was just before I turned 14. That was devastating because like
my father passed away at 14 as well.
You know what I mean? So mentally,
mine was 16. So
we're all in the same boat, right? We're all in the same boat. So we all feel the same pain.
Single parent family that wasn't single on purpose. A parent passed away
Right. So
Yeah.
so when
Mine were
I
divorced way before.
as a masculine like man,
Yeah.
I needed my dad.
Yeah.
Like even though I had a stepdad that came in like
Yeah.
fairly quickly,
Yeah. Yeah.
he was. I knew he was my dad, and it
Yeah.
angered me. I was like, "You're not my fuck off.
Yeah.
You're not my
Yeah,
dad."
yeah, yeah.
I love him now.
Yes.
I love him
Especially the
now.
teenager, because now you're missing
Oh,
him.
man,
And now it's
I'm-
like he's trying to take the place, and you're becoming the
Right,
man. So you're like,
right.
I'm the man. You're not the
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. That's exactly. I got
Yeah.
like some. I became like a ratty, pissed off teenager, and
Yeah.
it was affecting my school.
Yeah, if you were
All this
6
shit.
or 7, it would have been a whole.
Oh
different
yeah, if I
ballgame.
was 6 or 7, I wouldn't even remember.
Oh,
But
yeah,
even
yeah,
6
yeah.
and 7, it still
It would have
impacts
fucked you
you
up. It would have
psychologically.
fucked
No,
you
no,
up.
there's issues, but it would
But
have
I
been.
know what you
would
mean,
have been hard.
acceptance.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
when you're
For
like
sure.
14, 15,
Yeah.
you're
Yes.
turning into a man.
Young
So
man,
it's like,
yeah.
who's this guy trying to
Yeah.
you trying to become like what? No,
Yeah,
not having that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But even if you took out the stepdad thing, trying
Yeah.
to come in, it's
Yeah.
like when your dad dies,
Mm.
like we've all experienced
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
right? It's just like you need it because your mum, she's feminine. She can tell you what. Even if your mum's like proper like
Yeah.
whooping your ass
Yeah,
and
yeah.
put you into place, you still need your dad.
Far,
It's
far,
good cop, bad cop shit, isn't it? Like you need.
Yeah, I think to me
So
on that,
important.
it's right
You need
around.
it.
It's I should preface it. I think it's same-sex parent. So with like a woman, I think it's the mother and a dad.
Yeah,
with the
100%.
son. You need both.
Either,
But I
yeah.
think with those teenage years, like right when you hit around 13,
Yeah,
you're doing
man.
that,
Yeah.
that's very important because there's certain things that a man can only teach a man.
Only can do.
Yeah, and a
Yeah.
woman can only
Only
teach a woman.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
And then usually it's funny because sometimes kids are closer. Like I could be a mama's boy or a dad's boy.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You need
But
your dad.
once you get to that age, it's very weird because actually you usually feud it more with the same-sex parent. You know what I mean? But you need them also too. So it's a tricky thing, you know.
No, you need
It's
them.
scary because they're like they're your crutch, and then when your crutch is gone, you're kind of like on your own.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
who do you look up to? Like
Right.
as a father, like who would you look up to? Are you fortunate to have a positive role model in your
Yeah,
life?
another male
Yeah.
or female.
No, they
whatever,
don't have to
yeah.
be a replacement of your father.
No,
But
that
if
role
it's an
model.
uncle
Yeah.
or an older brother, even.
Like, even
just-
if you haven't got that, then what do you do? Like I was lucky to kind of turn to my stepdad, even though like originally I hated him.
Didn't like
Yeah.
him,
Like,
But
I
you
love
realize
him
he's a
now.
good person.
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah, but it
You
takes
get
you to
yeah.
get older to realise that.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like
Yeah.
if you don't have the uncle or the older brother
Yeah.
or the cousin
Yeah,
or
yeah,
even
yeah.
like the older sister,
Yes.
it doesn't have to be a muscular
Yeah,
type. Like you know what I mean? If you don't have anything,
yeah.
you do tend to spiral into this resentful person.
Mm.
Luckily, I don't know why. Personally, I can speak for myself, but I turn into this very empathetic person. So when I see someone struggling, their parent died, I see a beggar on the street, I see someone getting bullied. As I was going through pain myself, and I could feel it emotionally and physically and mentally, I was like, I know how this guy feels.
Yeah.
Maybe not directly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I know
Similar.
some of that pain.
Yeah.
I don't want him to feel that
Yeah.
or her to feel that, and
Yeah.
I'd back them up and cheer them up, and
Yeah.
like, don't mind. I'll chill with you in the back of the in the back of the class. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I would never allow that.
Mm.
Even to this day, like I'd hate pain. So like you said earlier, you're extremely empathetic. Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm like.
Do you guys find that hard? And like, you're in a major city, so obviously there's
Oh,
people
mate,
doing
it's
great.
hard.
There's two people doing average. There's people doing terrible. But there's a lot of everyone. So do you
But
find
there's
it
a lot of
hard?
people doing terrible.
A lot of people doing terrible, and that's typical. So do you find that hard being empathetic in a city with so many people? I know you're a little bit farther out.
Well, you get
But,
used
like,
to me, don't you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You get used to it.
You get it's almost like
You
we
can't
were
be
walking
losing.
earlier on, and I was thinking like there's some homeless people begging outside the shops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, I'm not sure how often you see that where you live in your country. Like
all the time. Yeah. But again, it's based on cities.
Okay.
So big cities, like if I'm in New York,
Yeah.
tons of homeless people.
Okay.
In my town, I have 2.
Okay.
We know who they
How
are,
do you
and they will
feel-
cut your
how
grass
do
for
you
you.
feel
They'll cut
about
your
that?
grass for you. They're not like begging.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, you need me to cut your grass? Like we know who they are. You know?
Okay,
It's a
okay.
different vibe. But I'm in a very small city,
Okay.
so it's different.
But how do you? I mean, obviously, me and Mina are very empathetic, but how do you feel about it?
In general, I think I'm a very empathetic person, but not necessarily with that. And maybe it's like just because of my experiences and seeing. I remember this one guy. He used to be in this like place right off the highway. He was always begging, right? And I saw him working doing that, and I saw him not working. And he was wearing the Scottie Pippens, which are $180 sneakers.
Okay.
He had sweatpants. He had a Starbucks in his
And
hand.
he was like, why the fuck's this guy
This
making?
guy's probably making 80 to 100 grand a year
Mm-hmm.
begging because he's doing it in the right spot. He knows what he's doing.
Mm.
So I was like, wow. So it tainted me to feel, and I'm sure they're not all like this, There's definitely a certain amount of professionals that do this very well and make a lot of money and
Oh,
making
yeah,
more than me.
yeah.
And I'm like, so it makes me turned off. So whenever they're like, hey, can I?
But you
No.
gotta remember, sometimes they get given them clothes though, bro.
Yeah.
I 1,000,000% understand. No, this dude was in the mall. He was driving a car. I think he had a Mercedes. I mean, he was.
If you see the car,
in UK, you also have these professional,
Yeah.
quote unquote, beggars
Yeah.
who will be begging outside, and they've been put on Facebook,
Yeah,
right?
they have.
Yeah.
And then after the day of begging, they go just
Jump in
jump
a
into a BMW,
BMW.
Plus,
and then
yeah.
drive off.
Plus, the other thing is like a lot of them just want to either get drunk or do drugs. So like, and by the way, I don't care if people drink or do drugs. Do whatever you want in your life. But I'm not like paying for other people's habits.
I get you. I
So
mean,
my thing is, I will give people food sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
giving them
yeah,
money.
You see,
That's
you
it.
know
I say,
what-
oh, because you know what? This happens in Mexico a lot. People do the outside of the store,
yeah.
and I will go in, especially when they have kids. I
Yeah.
always go in and I get them like a sandwich, some cookies, something.
Yeah.
Here you go. I get them extra. Like
Yeah.
when me and my wife come out, we give them some things. They're like,
Yeah, they don't.
Like,
I don't want it.
well,
I don't want it. I
well,
don't
because
want it.
people give them little things, but we give them like a meal. We'll get them like a
Okay.
sandwich, like
Yeah.
cookies, and then
Yeah.
like a chocolate milk for the kid, and like
Yeah.
a drink, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
all this, and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, we got you some candy too, like so,
Yeah.
because I don't want to just get them like a donut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I've even had it where there was a beggar outside McDonald's, right?
Mm.
This was like 6 in the morning. Me and my mate was coming back from like a party, so like we was having a couple of
Yeah,
drinks and what. And we was like heading home. We was like, all right, let's get what do you call it? The morning
Breakfast.
breakfast meal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this was like 10
You don't
years
call it breakfast, or you just?
Oh, no, I can't remember the name.
Oh, okay. I know it's an English.
I didn't quite remember
I was
the
like,
name.
don't you guys have English breakfast?
I
Like
don't
proper
know.
breakfast?
I was like the morning meal deal.
Breakfast.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
The first meal,
Yeah,
The first meal of the day.
No, but fucking, and I came out and I bought them a breakfast meal, right?
Mm.
So like I had like the hash browns and
Okay.
egg McMuffin and all that, and I bought the Orangina, right? I gave it to him. He was like, literally, he took it and he threw it on the floor. He's like, I don't want that. I want money.
Oh, yeah.
And I got so angry. I was like,
Yeah.
you fucking. No, seriously, I got angry. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
because I was a
yeah.
little bit drunk as well. I was like, you
Yeah.
fucking, you what?
Yeah.
Go eat that off the ground. Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I picked up a drink and I threw it back on him. I was like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's like you, but obviously because what you said, he wanted the money because he wanted to get drugs.
Yeah.
So can I just say so I've experienced. You've travelled the world. So you.
Kind of, yeah.
You've travelled a
Good
lot.
Well,
amount.
he's
Good amount.
traveled
I don't know,
Europe.
yeah.
You've travelled a lot of. Okay, so.
I've done a good amount, but I haven't done the whole world.
Okay, so there's poverty in this country, but there's poverty
Oh,
in
in other
other
countries, yeah, for
countries.
sure. Yeah.
And I witnessed poverty firsthand when
Oh,
I
yeah,
went to
Bangladesh
Bangladesh
was
many
mad,
times.
Yeah.
And every time I came back from Bangladesh to England, to London, I always felt blessed. I
Oh,
thought,
yeah.
oh my
For sure.
goodness. The poverty over there, you see people here and you think they're poor.
Yeah.
Then you compare it and
Yeah.
you think they're good.
Yeah, the people begging there versus people begging here will love to be here to begging. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's day and night. And when you see children begging, and there's organised begging too, because there are some who have got their designer shirts on and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's because there's organised gangs that they actually break bones of children just to beg, so they get
Wow.
more money. Because
Oh,
disabled children get more money, wouldn't you? You
Yeah.
see a disabled child, you
Of
ain't
course,
gonna give it.
yeah, I know, yeah.
Compared, I know it
It's
sounds
crazy.
bad, but compared to a child that's not got
That's
disability,
It's
you
terrible, yeah.
visually see
Yeah.
the disabled one and you think, no, I've got to give some money.
Yeah.
So that's what they do. They organise it and they actually do those. I mean, it's terrible. It's disgusting. But it makes you think like, oh my God, I'm so blessed. Like they have it so bad over there.
100%.
There's certain countries in the world like they are truly poor, and if you give them some money, if you give them some food, if you give them some clothes, it makes a world of difference to them.
I 100% agree, and especially when I'm traveling places that really need it. But also, like, it makes me feel great when I come home, like thankful for what I have. And sometimes the other way, like, and not in a bad way. Like, I remember working in the U.S. That was a big thing. Like, we would get like 2 weeks max, and I come over here and people like, oh, I got a month, I got 6 weeks. So it also makes me reevaluate. It's like, okay, we have a little bigger houses and shiny cars, but do we need that? Sometimes you need time for yourself. And you need to do it. So that I've been to the most poor places, and sometimes, like, they're begging or struggling, but sometimes they're so happy.
You're right. You're
They're so
right. I've
happy.
seen that as well. There's
So-
certain people
yeah.
have very basic lifestyles, living in villages and stuff.
Yeah.
That's their life, but they're happy.
Happy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we were talking about with when you stepped out to use the restroom, is that the toilet, not the bathroom. It's different here.
You said restroom.
yeah. Well, she was taking a nap. Taking a nap, I guess. But no, we're saying like the thing about people being super smart with the neural link and stuff. It's like, yeah, but do you really want that? Because people that have super high intelligence are usually depressed. Like, so it's the same thing of like wanting too much. You know, like it's great to be appreciative what we have, but if we go, absolutely.
That's it. Best
Great
example.
movie. Great movie.
No, it's the best example. Remember when
when
he takes too much, but when he runs out, he starts feeling that cat's out.
It's this pill that now they say you can access 2% of your brain to 4% of your brain.
So like literally 100%.
100%.
Oh wow.
He takes it and he becomes like some bomb writer.
Well, that's it. He was a loser writer. He never write anything.
Like, he was like
yeah.
bags under his, he was like a bum basically.
Yeah.
He ends up taking this, he becomes like some vibrant, like super intelligent.
Really?
Writes it in a day, like
he becomes like a billionaire, whatever. Like it's such a great film.
Yeah.
But the moral of the story is that as soon as he runs out of it, he starts going back into his stupid ways. So he has to keep taking the pills to keep the intelligence up.
And
it's just twists and turns. It's a good movie.
Twists and turns, that's like really
more stuff. Yeah.
Great film. It's a great film.
What's it called?
Limitless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper. You know Bradley Cooper?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe if I see the face.
Oh, you know him. Every girl thinks he's super sexy.
Yeah.
Okay. At least they did 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he got fat for a while, then he lost it again now. He was ripped in GI Joe. It's funny because last time
GI Joe was it?
Yeah. He's got face.
Oh,
18. Right. Yeah. But we were watching this rap battle last time, and there's these two British guys and these two American guys. It's a compliment battle.
Okay.
It's like, you're so beautiful, like. And he goes, the way you think of these things, you would think you're Bradley Cooper and Limitless.
Yeah,
that was the line. Remember? Yeah. It was hilarious.
No, it's a brilliant film.
Very good. Yeah, I've seen it many times.
What's your both of your ideas on UFOs? I had to go UFOs.
Okay.
You know, because my take on it is this. I think they're real.
If you're watching and you're following the Joe Rogan rules, you must take a drink every time you mention UFO. Okay.
Is that how we do it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
They're all gin.
Yeah.
These are all lemonade apparently, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, seriously.
I make gin as the supernatural.
Well, they think you're talking about gin.
Oh yeah, and then gin and spirit, it links together, doesn't it?
Well, that's what they say, talking about gin. You know, that's my cousin told me that. He was like, you know why it's called spirit?
Yeah.
Because it fucks with your spirit.
That's right.
And it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
Another great movie, Ex Machina. And there's this brilliant guy, and he was getting trashed.
He's making like an AI.
And the guy goes, the whole world is spinning. And he goes, no, he goes, you're drunk. And he goes, no, it's like the world literally is spinning. Like it does. You know? So you ever think about that? What if we adapt to everything, right? What if the world really is spinning?
No, the world
we know it is
spinning.
But then what if when you drink alcohol, you're more tapped in, and that's why you realize it's spinning when the whole world is like that?
I think so.
No, but that's why they say if you put us on another planet, like the gravity, we would be like this, right, bouncing around.
Oh yeah.
Right, that's one.
Or
thing.
slam down.
No, well, slam down. That's the first thing that would happen. The spinning thing, I don't think that would happen because now I'm trying to put my scientific mind. I can't remember.
Well, first of all, you just burn to death or freeze to death in a second.
No, but I'm talking about if you could hypothetically live,
in
like, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, like, if you could just put us in like a Superman or something. Like, I don't think you would spin off the axis because you're on the ground, but I probably am wrong.
Yeah.
But the point I was making is UFOs.
Okay, yeah.
Do you believe in it? I'm not about like UFOs like E.T. Find Home. I'm on about, do you reckon they're visiting here, or do you believe that they exist because the universe is so fucking big?
I'll give you probably like a nondescript, like religious answer type too when people do this.
Are you religious?
No, not in general, but this is the kind of thing about it too. Like, I don't pretend to know or give any answers on any of that
But
kind of stuff.
you don't pretend to know, but what's your opinion?
Same on UFOs. Like, it would not shock me. Like why would be the only thing? But also, if it wasn't true, it wouldn't shock me either. Like, I don't pretend to know either way.
Would you lose your shit if tomorrow the president said, "Oh, there's UFOs"?
They did in the U.S.
No, but I mean, like,
that's crazy.
if they really, because this is what I think. The hypothesis is this. And this is what a lot of UFOologists think, is that the reason why they're not putting out the news is because they don't think the religious people are ready. Because if they said, alright, there is creatures that are intelligent living on not just this solar system, but a quadrillion miles away in another solar system, like Andromeda Galaxy or something, like which is literally like X amount of light years away, right?
Science, sorry.
No, I'm telling you. And if you think about
We've
that,
had conversations about.
we have, haven't
We've had
we?
some
Me and Mina have had a lot
yeah.
of conversations like this,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
privately.
Yeah.
So on next week's podcast, we will have the aliens on the show.
Yes, yes. I hope
Yes,
I
we're an
fucking
alien
No,
already.
That's,
This guy.
I'm an alien from the U.S.
Yeah.
But no, that's my thing. Is like I wouldn't be freaked out. I would actually.
But
I would want to talk
as
to
a
them.
Muslim, as a Muslim,
As a-
that's what their fear is. They're saying that
Yeah.
when I say they, like
Yeah.
I think that what I mean is that they think that
The powers of
like,
intelligence
a lot
that
of people,
control
you know, in 1980 they done this what do you call it, like a questionnaire, like you
Okay,
say what
research.
would research, right?
Yeah.
And they done this thing, and I know it's not like every single person in the world,
Yeah.
but they pretty much, I think it was like 1 million people or something.
Okay.
It took them like 10 years to put it together.
Okay.
And it was like, literally like 90% of the people thought no, aliens don't exist because they was all religious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to I think it was like 2012 or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, what do you think? And it went from like 90% all the way down to like 65%. So now it's like people are starting to like really wake up to the idea that actually
Yeah.
we're not alone.
Do you think it's because in America there's so much sightings of UFO people have
Not just America, everywhere.
not just in America.
Everywhere.
No,
Like the
you're
world,
right.
the
Yeah,
world, the
yeah,
world.
yeah. I think in America maybe it's documented more, maybe, or
Maybe,
people are a
maybe.
bit more open to discussing
Maybe,
and
maybe,
show
yeah.
videos
Yeah,
about.
maybe, yeah.
Hey, guess what I've seen and this was crazy and whatnot.
I think most of the people though that have sighted it.
I've seen them myself.
I believe that there is something that we can't really describe as such, and it's a it's a creation of the creator.
Mhm.
And
That's
we
what I
might-
wanted to ask
yeah,
you. Like, what
and
do you feel?
I think Islamically, like there's not just humans, there's not just animals, but there's other entities.
There must be.
exist.
There must be.
There's a hidden world,
Mhm.
and there's certain things that our eyes are like.
Innate to
You
see.
need like
Yeah.
another sense. Like it's not necessarily for our eyes.
It's
you
like
can't explain it.
it's basically hidden from our eyes because it's too much. You know, like how you were talking about TMI before, like too much information.
Yeah.
If we have too much information.
So are you talking like a dimension or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
everyone's
are other
yeah,
dimensions that are living with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just we can't see it.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do see it, or there is kind of like if you've had some paranormal activity.
I was
in
gonna
your
go
home,
there. Yeah.
Right?
Or you
If
have
you-
a feeling like it's cold
Yeah.
or someone
Or like,
touching
yeah,
you or something
that's what
weird.
they
I think
say
a lot of
about
people have that.
Deja vu.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had
yeah.
No, but have you honestly had
Many,
deja
many,
vu
many
where you
times.
suddenly you're sitting there, you're talking, you're just like, the fuck was that? Like you generally,
You've already
it comes
lived that
over you and
experience.
it's like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
like what was that? Like
Like,
I
even
felt, apparently what that is that you've interconnected with the other person that
Dimension
you
or whatever,
are within another dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
if we are infinite, sorry,
yeah.
but if we are infinite,
Mm.
then there's an infinite amount of us.
Yeah.
Like you're Elvis Presley somewhere in another fucking universe.
Yeah.
Like you're Rihanna. No, it's
Yeah.
I mean that like you are you in that form,
I
and
haven't
you
got
are
a gun on
Rihanna.
the
Does that
toilet.
make sense?
You're
You know
still
what
alive.
I'm trying to say?
Okay.
Like I'm Tupac. I'm as I am. I'm all Tupac. You know what I'm trying to
We're
say?
both dead, you're
I
alive.
wouldn't agree with you. I feel
I'm
like
not in the toilet.
I feel like there's one of you, but like how we discussed before, there's people who look like you. There's many people who've looked like you who are still walking, or they've come and gone, or they're going to be there in the future that look like you, resemble you, but
Yeah.
they're not you because you've got your own original soul.
Yeah.
So your own original soul is your imprint. That's you. But you can have people look like. I mean, it's crazy when you think about that.
Okay.
Because like imagine meeting somebody else who looks like you but is a different person. Like,
Yeah, it would be weird.
that would be mad, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be mad. But deja vu.
I had a fucked up equation one time. It's like imagine if we met another civilization on a complete another planet, like trillions of miles away, and they was humans, not like us.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
but they was actually human, just like us. How
Yeah.
fucked up would that be?
I mean,
Like they didn't like in our head we're thinking, alright, when we go and meet aliens at one point, if we do in the future, they're gonna be like complete like big grey
yeah, they
heads.
could
Yeah,
look
yeah,
like
yeah.
us.
Imagine if they looked exactly like
I
us.
mean,
That
it
means
can
that
happen.
means that someone's playing a game. Like
It
they're
can
just like
happen.
jotting around seeds and all these.
Or
planets.
they have some slight difference because whatever the atmosphere or whatever allows
Yeah,
for that.
they'll
Like
be
they
changed.
have gills and they breathe a little.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
But imagine if they looked just like us, though. It'd be like,
Well,
wow.
so my
what the
answer
fuck?
is this: like, one, I don't pretend to know, and two, I genuinely I don't want to say I don't care, but that's kind of what it is. I don't even know if I want to know. Like, I feel like maybe actually once you figure out the secret of why you're here on the planet, or
Which
why life happens.
you're never gonna do.
Well, yeah, but maybe.
Well, I think you would because of your work or whatever you're.
Once you
doing
figure
in
it out,
life.
You can figure out what you're doing here,
Yeah.
but not in the grand scheme of things. You're never gonna figure it out.
Maybe you do find out where you're at in the grand scheme of things, and that's the day you pass.
Yeah.
Once you figure it out,
Yes.
you become part of it.
Yeah.
So are you ready to leave yet? Or do you want to? Because that's the thing. If you don't, then maybe you just go along for the ride, and when it naturally happens, it happens. I'm not trying to force anything. Like, I want to just live my life path the way I feel meant to, and I'm not trying to extra figure everything out or say I know about aliens or whatever. I'm open to it. I'm open to the spiritual side. I'm open to alien side. I don't really commit on anything, and it's not like I just don't want to be wrong. It's more of like, yeah, I kind of feel this way. Yeah, I've seen stuff on like another dimension. Like I felt that. Like I used to have dreams where like.
Yeah,
We have never met like life in real life or even talked online. And it'll be 20 years ago. And I'll dream we're at this table having the exact conversation with this runner. And it'll be on like, why is the phone there? Like I didn't even understand phones then. But it's like it happens word for word. It'll be like a 30-second clip. But it's almost like I've lived it before. So that's something weird. And I've definitely had things where I felt like something was haunted or felt a little weird.
Felt energy.
So I can't explain it, but I don't necessarily want to. Yes.
It exists.
I acknowledge
You can't deny it. Our dreams, our feelings, our senses.
Intuition.
Yeah, all of that. Intuition, all those things, they exist. But sometimes we can't make too much sense of them.
But also,
You know what I mean?
why is it
we
very-
just get sidetracked by them because of all this shit that we're watching or going
So you
through.
have you have
Fine
science,
tune
you have,
to it.
you have science and you have religion, and it's like well, why is that? Why can't you kind of be somewhere in the middle and believe certain? You know what I mean? Like I feel like everything's a blend. Like not like we said, the person that's pure evil, well, they might have one good quality that
It might have.
that like maybe it's just for that you can forgive them or be okay with them or they made something like we said. So there's always something in everything, you know. Like I feel like nothing's 100%, and I don't plan to figure anything out. I feel strong about something.
I just think
and I learn more, you know.
Based on my knowledge of how vast this universe is.
Yeah, of course.
Like we're talking, we've got 200 billion stars in this galaxy alone. Stars.
Yeah.
Out of them stars, we're talking what? 80 to 100 billion of them? From none of them finished.
I believe that. I don't know.
No, 100 billion, 80 to 100 billion of them have planets around them.
Yeah.
Billion, we're talking. And then we go out of our galaxy, out of the Milky Way, and then we've got 500 billion other galaxies.
The universe is just
But
constantly expanding.
can you try and fathom this?
Yeah.
In our
Oh,
own
that's
galaxy,
amazing.
we're
Yeah.
talking 200 to 250
amazing.
billion stars, right?
Yeah.
Go out of our galaxy,
Yeah.
we've got another 200 to 500 billion
Yeah.
galaxies,
Yeah,
not
it's
stars.
amazing, yeah.
What?
Imagine how
and
many
then
stars
you
are in
tell
that
me-
galaxy.
In
Yeah.
each of them galaxies.
Yeah.
So you're talking quadruple, I don't even know if there's a mathematical word to say it.
Yeah.
Stars, right?
Yeah.
With all planets around them, there is literally zero chance that we are the only ones here, and there's zero chance that we're the only intelligent one. Yes, there's going to be loads of microbial bodies, all that.
My pushback would be I'd never say, like, if you say I am an American male, I would say there's 99.9%. I never go 1,000,000%, and you know what I mean? Because there's always whatever. And the other thing, it's like a slight detail I always question. Who the fuck knows that exact number? Don't you die before you count to 1,000,000,000?
Yeah.
Like, who the hell knows there's 20? Like, how do they get? That's like when they age things. They're like, this is 1.2 billion. Like, really? Can you tell me exactly how old it is?
There are ways that I can't prove
Relatively,
to you.
yeah,
I can't prove,
relatively.
I can't prove to you how they do prove
Yeah,
that, but there are ways they can.
I understand.
Not to the, you're right, not to the number.
Exactly.
But to
It's a huge number, is the point.
It's true, but they can prove it to a certain degree,
Yeah.
and it is to the billions.
But it's to a point that they can't count. It's a ginormous number. That's the important thing.
Yes,
It
but
doesn't even matter.
But,
Who cares if it's
it is to the billions. They
Yeah.
can prove it to the billions. Maybe not to the hundreds of billions, but
Yeah.
they can prove it to the billions.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying.
Can I ask you a question? Because you're talking about space.
Yeah.
Do you think that man has gone to the moon?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
It is a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
And you know what? Last year I would have said yes, very confidently, but now I'm thinking
No.
not so much no, but I'm open to the question of no.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not
Yeah,
one of
that's
these. And then another thing that a lot of people have been hitting me with is like this flat Earth stuff, and they're trying to hit me. I'm like, no, that's not. really gonna go with me.
That's silly, yeah.
But going to the moon thing, I'm not 100%,
Yeah.
but I'm 90%. I'm 90% we have, but there's 10% of me thinking there's a couple of things that I've been taught and said and all that.
Yeah.
Alright, but you know what? Without we're alive, I can't take it back.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know what it is? We can prove that we have. Because like you can see like the tracks and all that shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can see where the rover like drove around and all that. They're the things that make me think, alright, yeah, it's probably full of bollocks.
Yeah,
I mean, the mean is like, give me a moment, please. There you go.
I would say we have, but
How
also
many people are watching?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
But
I would
it's
say-
just recording.
I would say we have, but I'm never 100% on anything. And to be very honest and frank and fair, I'm not old enough to say I was even around when that was happening. So I couldn't tell you necessarily. I would just be going off.
I think it was 69,
things, you know. Ballpark. It was well before 1980, which is the year I was born.
No, it was
So,
69
yeah.
when we went to the moon.
I keep dreaming.
Are you talking about your sexual exploration? Or are you talking about
I'm going for another toilet.
He went to the moon. All right.
He's going to the moon right
He
now.
he likes the bullocks. So Burnzy, I'm not sure you're taking a big steaming poop like you did earlier, but enjoy it.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you believe that.
What do you think on that?
Well, I
Alright.
believe that man hasn't gone to the moon.
Okay.
I used to believe.
You believe that Hollywood faked it?
I used to believe that man had gone to the moon, but now I feel that they haven't gone to the moon. Why I say that is because if man has gone to the moon, why have there not been any moon shuttles? Why have they not created anything on the moon? Why has there not been? Where is? You know, if you found like, oh my God, we found the moon, we landed there, and we're gonna start something up.
Do you keep up with Elon Musk and the SpaceX thing at all, or no?
No, I don't, but I just believe that our Earth has got an atmosphere. We're on a dome. It's not flat Earth, but we've got the world and it's round.
Yeah.
And it's domed. And so all the satellites are in the atmosphere.
The atmosphere, yeah.
Right,
yeah,
the
I
lower
guess so.
atmosphere. They can't penetrate above. They're just there because how would the landing on the moon be filmed? Who filmed it?
So there's a camera that.
How can you stick a flag, a USA flag, and leave it there and think, oh, it's going to stay there?
I don't know. I've never been to the moon. I'm not a scientist. I don't know anything about it. But I know that there is a camera. Again, this is all you can look up or debunk anything, whatever. But I believe I've heard this that so they were doing that thing with SpaceX, which I don't remember what the ultimate prize was, $1 million or more. He was regular citizens. You had to fly something to the moon. It could be anything, right?
Okay.
Land.
Yeah.
Have a camera on it.
Yeah.
And have it go a certain amount of feet or meters or whatever, and then I don't remember if it had to come back or just have the footage, right? But also, he launched the Tesla up there because he thought it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So he launched the Tesla up there, and they have a dummy on it, and there's a
A
camera.
Tesla car.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's launched the Tesla up there, and it's caught the orbit of the moon. And if you look at the orbit of the moon, there's a Tesla, and you can see this camera of
You can't
a dummy.
see it?
You can see it somewhere online. Yes. That again, I'm not too into this.
Well, I'll question mark it
We'll look
because
at it all later.
remember the atmosphere of the Earth. Scientists need to
If you
know
want another.
what the atmosphere of the
About a
Earth
minute,
is.
yeah.
Right.
They
Yeah,
need to
good.
invent things that is going to go out of the atmosphere, still remain intact. How do you get that technology? Yeah, I know there's R&D and whatnot. And
I mean, you can't question me as a scientist on this. I'm not into any of this really. I'm not into. Ironically, I'm a big movie buff. 3 of my favorite movie genres. And this is because I'm a psych major. I love people, and I love people under pressure because I feel like it gives you the true person.
Yeah.
So 3 of my favorite are military, when people are in war,
Mm.
because it's just such an extreme circumstance. You
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how you'll react.
Yeah.
Jail is
Yeah.
another thing like that,
Yeah.
and space.
Okay.
So I love space, and actually an interesting one for you, if you haven't seen it, I would think would be great because it's a very big science versus religion versus just life. Is Interstellar? Have you seen Interstellar?
think
I love
I've seen
Interstellar.
this. I think
That's
I've
my
seen
favourite
this.
science.
It's arguably one of my favorite films. of all
Arguably,
time,
I think
right?
the best film ever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
incredible.
Okay.
So
But-
fucking
so
good.
Matthew McConaughey stars in it.
He absolutely
He's
special.
very religious over science in real life.
Okay.
But the movie is very interesting, and actually, there's a small part without ruining anything where his daughter goes to school,
Yeah.
and she's like, "You got to go talk to the teacher." He's like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, you're gonna be mad." He's like, "Not at me."
Mm.
So in the future of this thing, where the world's like Nothing's
Drying
growing.
out,
The
drying
world's
out.
drying out.
Okay.
And all they can grow is corn, and the world's screwed.
It's
Alright.
fucked. It's fucked.
Basically-
They have to leave Canada,
Yeah,
basically.
basically, if you're the smartest of the smartest, you can go to school, but mostly everyone's a farmer at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his daughter gets in trouble because she brought one of his textbooks in, not hers, and they talk about the moon landing. Like, we debunked that, it's fake,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
bankrupt Russia, that's
All
what they're
right,
teaching.
okay,
And,
okay.
and then he's like, go fuck yourself. He's
Yeah.
like, because he was an astronaut, so he's
Okay.
pissed off.
He
Oh,
never said
right,
yeah.
okay.
So it's an interesting movie, but it goes way beyond that. It's a deep movie.
But do you think there's politics in that movie being put out there?
I don't think there's politics, but I think there's facts.
Pushing that an agenda?
All right, listen. I read his book. One of his first lines in the book is that
And
he's
the
like,
green light thing.
yeah, he's like, I vote Republican. He's exactly the opposite of what they would push in politics the other way. So
Okay.
he's just playing his part. And I think there's as much or more of a spiritual or entity element that there is of a scientific element in that. That's why it's a good blend and an interesting one. It's almost a love story between a father and his daughter.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, it's not like a sexual love story, but
Yeah.
it's a deep love, like Romeo and Juliet. Like
He's trying to
ridiculousness.
find his daughter after going through.
Yeah, don't even
space.
give it all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
There's
Okay,
just
I'll
so
watch
much.
it.
Just watch it. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Because
Like,
if
it's
people
3
might be
hours.
watching it, they might
Yeah.
know it as well.
No, I think it's
And
like.
by the way, it doesn't have to be people watching live because this is going to go on Instagram
YouTube,
later.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
YouTube,
that
it's on YouTube forever.
people are going to watch this.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
not right now.
We're explaining the technology.
Mina's confused.
I feel
She
like
thinks that's it. After this is that's it.
Okay.
No, it's
Oh,
going to be
no.
put.
it lives
Oh my
it lives
God.
forever.
It's
gonna-
Yeah,
This is going to be saved and put on shit.
Oh,
Well, no.
God.
Actually, at
You
one
need to
point,
edit a few things.
at one
No,
point,
no, no, no.
at one point when YouTube goes out of business, this will be gone. But I think it'll last a while. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I
your
want to do.
superpowers.
Yeah. No, but have you seen Contact? It's an old 1997 film.
Vaguely, is that Jodie Foster?
Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Mate, that's my favourite science film.
Okay.
Contact. It's such a good. Oh mate, it's such
I'm not-
a good film.
So,
Honestly, it's
as
such
much
a
as I
good
love science, I'm not a big alien movie fan.
No,
Because
but
I feel like
no,
it's like horror movie.
No, but
You're
it's
doing
not-
something-
but
you're
it's
doing
not- but
good.
it's not an
It's
alien
for real.
film.
I love E.T.
But it's not
It's
an
silly.
alien. But it's not an alien film.
Yeah.
You don't see aliens in it.
No, yeah.
Like the film is just about like what Interstellar is. It's about contact.
Okay.
You contact an ancient, a civilization outside of ourselves.
Yeah.
And Jodie Foster, they send aliens. They send us some, how would you put it? Like a device to go back in through an interdimensional wormhole, basically,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And go see them.
Yeah.
And when you go see them, Jodie Foster does that, and she falls through this hole, and then
Yeah.
to the public, like to
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
she just falls through, nothing
Where is
happens.
it, yeah.
But to her, she
Yeah.
spent like 8-9 minutes talking to this alien,
Oh,
basically.
wow.
But it's not an alien, but they make it out as a dad.
Oh.
Because they're like, we didn't want to freak you out and
Yeah,
scare you.
yeah.
We just wanted you to see us as
Yeah.
something that you love and
Yeah,
remember.
like you- yeah.
And her dad died 20 years prior.
Okay.
No, it's such a good film.
Okay.
And then Interstellar came out, what Joey just said,
Yeah.
and that film kind of resembled the same things. Like she has a great relationship with his daughter, He goes through a black hole, and like to him, maybe I don't know, 20 minutes has passed.
Okay.
But
20 years.
yeah,
Wow.
but when
Because
he
the gravity
when,
and everything. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
It's
when
crazy.
he comes back,
Yeah.
it's like his daughter. I fucked the whole film now, basically.
Yeah, you're not the best person
But
to
the
not spoil
time
things.
is an amazing concept,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No, but it's the truth. If you go near a black hole,
Yeah.
time slows down.
Yeah, because what it is, a black hole isn't even a black hole. It's actually light inside. There's light inside a black hole.
You're right. But
Well-
no, but when you go
I
into
thought-
past the line of no return,
Yeah.
then it's black.
Okay.
But we just can't see that. All we see is the black hole swallowing all the
Yeah.
all the
yeah.
junk.
Well, there's weird stuff even when you travel with time differences, right? Because this is a random one. My ex-boss's father, R.I.P., he told me this cool story that he was in the Marines, he was in the Navy, and he never had a 21st birthday. So the day of his 21st birthday, they literally crossed the international timeline. So it was the day
Okay.
after his
Oh.
birthday, so he
Okay.
technically never turned 21.
Oh wow.
You know?
Okay. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Time is amazing.
Relative and weird.
It
you know?
really is. It really is. Time is.
Do you know when you go up to the national space station up in space, right?
Yeah.
If you're there, they have to literally. This is where GPS came from, by the way. Like you know, you got GPS. Like you can just like put
Hey,
your
dot,
Yeah.
yeah, 2 dots
and
in
it's like, I'm there.
Yeah.
It came from this. when you go to the National Airspace Station, they're only like literally like 0.3 seconds behind or ahead behind us or something. I can't remember if it's behind or ahead of us.
Yeah.
So what happens is they have to make this digital clock.
Okay.
So when they communicate with them, it's on time.
Oh,
so every time they send something, it makes sure that it corrects
Delay,
itself.
Right.
So that's. I know it sounds like weird, but that's where GPS came from. That's what GPS literally came from. So it's like in the night. It's like in the early 90s or late 80s or something. That's where it came from. So it was just like now when we speak to them, and it comes back, it pings back. It takes time. It's like when you look at the sun. You know, you're looking at the sun 8 minutes later.
I know, people don't realize
Another great movie on that, Sunshine.
Yeah.
You know that one? Yeah, that's a great
You know, when you
movie.
look at this, the moon, it's like, I think it's like 2.5, 3 seconds late.
Speed of
You're not
light,
looking at it.
Yeah.
And then some girl said something that was amazing. She said if you zoomed out enough from Earth, like if you kept zooming out, like if you imagine getting the shuttle and you wouldn't die, and you kept zooming out, and you went out far enough, and you look back on Earth, say like in, I don't know, 2 point whatever it is. She said if you look back enough, you would see the dinosaurs roaming the earth.
That's crazy.
But you'd be the same fucking age.
Yeah.
That's time travel.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, but that's how it is. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because the further away you go, and the fast is all it is to do is the speed.
Yeah.
Like if I turn that light off, bang.
Yeah.
So whilst it's simultaneous, it's done.
Yeah,
But you can actually calculate that speed.
Yeah.
Like how fast did that light turn off? You can calculate that.
Yeah.
That's the speed of light.
So there's a
And
weird.
then from outside, someone seeing you turn your light off, it might not be exact.
Yeah.
Then you got it.
Yeah.
You got
This
it.
is-
You got
yeah.
it. Me, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
So from somewhere far, that's what Albert Einstein. He done this great experiment. He was like, if you fell in a lift, just imagine this, and this is the way I can like for your mind to fathom.
Yeah.
If you was falling in a lift, but you didn't know you was falling, would you be falling?
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't be falling.
Yeah.
If you was just sitting here like this, and someone dropped me, I wouldn't feel it.
Yeah.
You would just be falling. Right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
But to you, I'll be falling. But to me, I'll be just sitting there.
Do you ever? I used to do this when I was young. They had a planetarium, and you can see all the stars and stuff. But they also had these cool little inventions. I'm pretty sure this is where it was at. And they had a thing where you would talk and you'd hear yourself, and then it'd be like a millisecond delay, a couple milliseconds.
Yeah.
You literally like become like you have a speech impediment and you cannot speak. If it's like a 4/10 of a second or something, right? It's so minimal. But you hear the echo of yourself talking and focus on that. And I start talking. That's how it goes. And you're like, oh my God, I think I broke my brain. You feel when you take them off and you're like, I'm normal.
Yeah.
It's so weird because you just start slowly talking and your tongue gets heavy.
Crazy.
Because your brain can't compute it.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. But
It's
they're showing
even like-
lights and speed.
It's
and all
even
that.
like when you talk, right? You hear your voice, but when you hear it recorded, it sounds different.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that we were saying that about like how tall you look or like the look. It's like I think a camera and a video does a pretty good job and gets you the gist. But it's not the same because I heard Joe Rogan talk about this all the time. He's like, if you ever get a chance to go to a live comedy show, he's like, it's amazing. He's like, maybe you get 60% of it on like a camera, but it's not the same feeling. It's the energy. It's like, all right, I'm not into football or soccer, but the thing is, for a lot of people, it's not even like the game. It's the atmosphere. Yeah, and I've done that with like UFC or something. Like watched it with a lot of people live, and you're like, oh, there's so much energy, you know.
Imagine you feel that energy when you're just watching it from your TV screen.
Yeah.
And then imagine it when you're actually live.
Exactly, and it you know it's amplified because the thing is, like, to be honest, I've seen a lot of live sporting events. I think almost everything is actually better on TV with the announcers and the great cameras. But if you have a room packed in with your friends and it's the atmosphere of it, amazing. You don't need to be at a stadium, but you need that feel. Because if you're just yelling at your screen and you're crazy, it's cool and you get the atmosphere, but you don't have that feedback of everyone else yelling and that echo-ness, you know? So when you have people, it's great too, actually, like for American football, like if I like one team and you like the other team and they're playing each other, I used to hate that at first, like, I don't want to watch it with him. But you like it. Because you're like, you eat shit, you drink that drink, you talk shit, and you're like, okay, I'm going to take this from him. And then when you score, you're like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, because you're waiting to give it back. And it's like, it's not, and it's fair. You can't, all right, I can't be like, well, I'm going to get this touchdown on you. The team has to do it. So it dictates how it talks.
No, energy is a real thing, man.
For
You
sure.
feel it. That's what we spoke about energy a lot of times, isn't it? It's like energy is a real thing. I can walk into a room, like talk about empaths and whatever, but that's seriously, like sometimes I can walk into a room, it's crowded, and I just think something's not right here.
Not a good
But
vibe.
it doesn't mean I'll just walk straight back out. I can walk into the room, I'll chill and jam, but I just feel like a bit uncomfortable.
Were you the one that told me this about the Auschwitz?
No, I didn't tell you about Auschwitz, but I told you when I went to Cherokee.
Cherokee, that's what it was.
I
I'm sorry.
remember-
Because we were talking about
yeah,
Auschwitz.
yeah. I was with my ex in America, and there was a place like Cherokee Mountain.
American Indians.
Yes, right. No,
Okay.
there's a place where a load of Indians got like absolutely
Massive.
slaughtered by.
He didn't know that. He was driving through.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, and I swear on my life that. May
Atmosphere.
God kill me right now. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And my ex was driving, right, driving the left in America, right. So I'm sitting
On
there.
the right side.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm driving. No, she's driving. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, and obviously I suffer from anxiety as it is, right. So I was the whole time I was there like 5 days, no problem with my anxiety, everything fine.
That's nice.
And we started driving through these mountains, and I was just like, my neck started feeling really like anxious. My neck started getting tight. I was like, what's going on? Like, and I was like, whoa. And by the way, at this point, I haven't had a panic attack in like 15 years. So I was borderline having a panic attack. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, because like I told her about it, but she'd never seen me have one.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I'm gonna have a panic attack. She was like, what's wrong? And then I was like, no, something's wrong. Because we was going to like some place, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, we pulled up and she told me, she's like, yeah, this is where like 10,000 Cherokee people got, 10,000 Cherokee people got slaughtered. Now, I mean, you know when you use the word slaughtered, I mean like there was like 25, 30,000 Americans, they just ransacked them, burnt, smashed them up. Obviously a load of American dies too, but in the over scale of things, like a load of Red Indians got slaughtered, and I was just sitting, I was like, oh, I could just feel it. I was like, what's wrong with me? And then like she parked up, and then and I was just like, no, whatever this area is, we need to leave. And as soon as we left, like,
felt better.
Yeah, and then she told me,
Okay.
and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. And there was another time, me and my sister, I was driving in my car. Me and my sister was with her boyfriend, and we was driving down the road. And my sister gets the same thing, like she's like me and you.
Okay.
She's like me and you. She's like, we're driving, and then she was like, I feel a bit weird. I was like, yeah, me too. Like, what's wrong? And then little did we realise we were driving along fucking some old abandoned funeral, like a funeral, like a graveyard.
Okay.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like we could feel the death, the pain, the I don't know what it was, like
Yeah.
spirits or something.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's kind of like that movie Poltergeist. That's the whole
It's
thing.
kind of feeling,
she
like,
has the same feeling, but like to an
I
ultimate
can
level.
feel it, but you know what? It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing,
Yeah.
and I promise
real.
you, it's a real thing. I promise you. I'm not saying I can read minds and
No.
read
Picking
cards
up
and
energy,
but I
vibrations.
can but I can pick up energy.
Intuition.
100%.
So switching the topic, but keeping it something similar. Either one of you going to watch or interested in that new Elvis movie that's coming out?
I haven't had it.
So
No, it's a new Elvis, but yeah, I am.
It's a proper movie. Tom
I
Hanks.
am.
Tom Hanks is not him, but Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I am. I like
Because
that.
I think there's something about it. Like the thing about Elvis is, and my sister is a huge Elvis fan. She went with my wife to Graceland and everything. But there was an energy supposedly about him. That's the whole thing, right? Like
Bad one or good one?
No, like they captured people. Like you know what I mean?
Mesmerizing
Mesmerizing,
you like in a bad way.
mesmerizing people.
I've
Like,
kind of like got the feedback I got was it was bad energy around him.
Really?
And one of the things was somebody
In
said to
his
me,
beginning years or later years? Because I know in his
Yeah,
later years he put a
change
load of weight and he.
I don't even think it's about his weight. I think like one of the signs was.
I know he's a bit of a woman.
This is a bit of a judgmental thing to say, but the way the way he passed. Apparently he passed.
on the shitter.
Yeah, in the restroom.
Yeah.
And the toilet. People can look into that and think, well, I mean, we can die anywhere at any time. But it was like that was a little sign. And then also because he did the gyrating movement, right?
Yeah, with the hips, yeah.
That. It's like
I can't do it. In my head, it was like I saw the impression, but in real life, it didn't probably translate at all. Luckily, I'm far away. You probably don't see it. Yeah.
I don't have the bits.
Oh, go on, do it.
I don't have the bits. But basically, he had this It's almost like he put women on this spell, like
Right.
magical kind of like people would.
Well, he did.
Because and then he invented this. I won't say he invented it, but he put it out there, that movement.
The sexual thing with his hips and his
Yeah.
lip and
But are you saying like he was told to do that, or
I don't
like...
know if he was told to do that, but whatever he was doing or however, it impacted a lot of people.
Yes.
And I'm just saying from where I come from my perspective or the feedback I've got, I can only just basically remember a little bit about Elvis Presley when I was a kid. So he was still, he hadn't passed then, so I can't remember. When did he pass?
No,
I think
he passed out before you were born. Yeah, for sure.
No, you would have been alive.
Yeah, I remember black and white movies. She was older.
You done the old
No, those movies were out after. I feel like Elvis died in the 60s.
No, he didn't. No,
I think he died in the late 70s.
Hang on.
Really? Or early 70s? Let's
Hang on, we
get
need to get our fake version of Jamie from podcast.
There you go, exactly.
Hang on.
Young Jamie.
Let's get some.
But young Jamie's not that young.
When did Elvis die? Hang on. 77.
Okay, so alright, I was 3
You
years
was like 3 years
I was
old.
3 years old, but so they obviously played a lot of movies after he passed. So
Oh
I
yeah,
still
yeah.
remember, like,
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you like
Yeah.
fully,
Who knows? Maybe at 3 years old I can.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
You never know.
Yeah,
Like your
no,
first
absolutely.
memory,
I still watch horror movies and I'm like, I was 1 year old.
Yeah.
And I'm like traumatized to this day. Like, yeah, I'm telling you.
So, but what I'm trying to say is that I wasn't really too much aware of him, but I was aware he was
He was
around.
wearing off, yeah.
Yeah, I was aware he's around and stuff and whatnot. But that information that I got was that he maybe wasn't the best in the sense of him influencing in that kind of sexual manner and whatnot. So, But I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm just saying that that's the kind of perspective that I.
What intrigues me about him, and I don't know a lot, and I'm not even an Elvis fan per se or anything, but what intrigues me about him, and I think the story will be interesting how they tell it, they're going to Hollywoodize it and stuff, is that he was the first probably ever ultra famous person. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
Like in the age of cameras and video, and again, we didn't have cell phones.
Stuff. You don't even need to explain it. He was the first famous person in regards to singing. Not movie.
Well, both.
No,
not
movie.
big, but
he kind of moved on a bit, like maybe in the late 50s.
Yeah.
But no, he was definitely there was a lot of famous.
And then here's the weird part about that, because I feel like for our generation, like we lived through this, right? So I maybe none of us vaguely remembers Elvis, but he was the first like super ultra famous person. Then probably Michael Jackson would be the next person like that level of fame.
No, you're right. Elvis, the Beatles, and then I think it'll be Jackson. Then I think Jackson.
Okay, so those were all super ultra famous people, but fast forward, right? And there was like actors and actresses and stuff. But now we're in a weird space where like if you're an actor or actress, you pretty much have to be on social media. You have to give everyone all your whole life if you want to be super level. Now listen, you can still be pretty big and not do that if you're like, I just want to be private, right? But like super level, and we see this with like Will Smith, right? And that's why he probably flipped out and fucking smacked Goose, right? Is that there's so much pressure to have everything out there, and sometimes it's terrible. Like he found out his wife was cheating on him live on TV with everyone else watching. Like that's
terrible.
That's a lot.
No, that's actually sad. Imagine like knowing that the whole entire world knows that your girl banged someone else, and now Chris Rock's making the joke. Completely irrelevant. No, the joke was completely irrelevant about your girl banging someone else, but because now you've got to be masculine, you've got to stand up and slap someone just to prove that August Alsina can't do that again, or no one else can do that again, because if you do, I'm going to smack you.
But there's the thing, I don't even care that like he found it out on TV. I mean, I feel a little like wow for him, but I care more that we care to watch it. Like we love the train wreck. Look at the whole thing with Johnny Depp. We love the suffering.
I personally didn't love it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I didn't watch any of it.
I didn't. No, I watched it. I watched it on the highlight.
Care less.
I watched it on the highlight. Couldn't care.
I like Johnny.
But I the thing is, I loved Will Smith, and I was thinking, oh come on, Will, man, you could have done better than that, bro. Like Will Smith's one of my best actors. Like honestly.
No, I think he's arguably the best of all time. He's
possibly one of the best. Like it is something.
Do you think it's a campaign to smear him and to
I don't know if it's a
humiliate him and to?
I think that it could possibly even be a setup.
He did it. I mean, whatever.
Beyond his control. setup.
Yes.
I don't know about that. Yeah. I don't
No,
know
but I'm on about.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm on about a complete setup. Like everyone was involved. Like Chris, all that.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, now you're thinking crazy, Ryan.
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with you, boy? I can see it. I can see it in Joey's eyes. Joey's looking like, Ryan, you're being crazy right now, bro.
I think there was a lot of external stimulus because the whole thing about his wife cheating, lying on TV, and then like it was definitely. If you watch the joke, right? He tells a joke. He actually kind of laughed.
He
laughed, and then she had certain action, and then he had to act tough and whatever. And everyone keeps saying the same thing. Here's the other thing too. If that was The Rock. Or a boxer, any big ass dude, like, was he really gonna give that same energy?
No.
Probably not. You know?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't put it past. Will's a big guy. Maybe he would.
He is, but there's a difference
Maybe
in like fighting too. You know what I mean?
Maybe
like,
he would.
Yeah, I don't.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, 100%. But you know what? Take all that masculine bollocks away.
Yeah.
I just think the bottom line is that he felt threatened, and not by Chris Rock. He felt threatened by the media.
Yeah.
And like he needed
He
to
felt
prove himself to do something.
his manhood felt threatened.
Yeah, Chris Rock is like a little weasel, isn't it, compared to Will Smith? Like you said, if it was The Rock or whatever.
Size-wise, yeah, for sure.
But
yeah.
So do you think? Sorry to interrupt. Do you think that if it wasn't documented like that, then the impact of everything would have been these scenarios probably have happened to other people, but it wasn't documented. And do you think because it's been so documented and out there that it's created all this?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if anything, my thing is this. I've always been this way, right? Like, if I'm interested in someone, I might watch their podcast or whatever. But like in general, like Will Smith's a great actor, and I really enjoy him as an actor. And he's like, I enjoy his motivation and who he is. But I don't follow his whole life, and nor do I care. And I don't care. And the thing is, I'm like that with everyone. The thing is, like, I have no interest in the Oscars because my thing is, here's the thing.
It's like the Johnny Depp thing. Who cares?
Yeah.
And they're all talking about like,
if you battered a woman, then I'd be like, all right, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
And then I probably wouldn't appreciate your films no more.
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad he won the appeal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I do like Johnny Depp, and I like him even more now. The fact that he's won his case. Cool, but did I follow the case? No. Like, do I still like Will Smith? Absolutely
yes. Of course.
He slapped another guy. Okay, he didn't absolutely punch him up and slap on his head or something.
Do you think the same applies to like people like Michael Jackson or R. Kelly?
No, but R. Kelly's different. But you can't bring Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson won his case.
Okay, but I'm gonna bring both of those in.
R. Kelly.
My thing is this: if you feel a certain way and you don't want to listen to Michael Jackson, who was never found guilty or anything, or Kelly, who was found guilty, I'm okay if you don't want to like listen to them. You know what I mean? I'm okay. But also, if you do want to listen to them, I'm not gonna judge you either. Because I think you could. They don't have to be mutual. Like you could say. I totally do not I disagree with R. Kelly 1,000,000% of what he did personally. I don't like him, but I like his music.
That's what I'm saying. You can separate it.
Yes,
you can separate the person and their art.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm terrible with like history and people, but wasn't Van Gogh the one that cut off his ear or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, does anyone think that's a fucking smart move or whatever else?
Yeah.
But people still buy its paintings, and I know it's different.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is. And I understand, right? Because, like, all right, a lot of white people were like, listen, Lauryn Hill came out famously and said, I'd rather have my children starve in the streets than a white person buy my album. And if you do not want to buy her album, that's fine.
I don't want to buy her album.
I did feel that way. But you know
what did she say?
She said, I'd rather have my children starve in the street than have a white person buy my album.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's proper racist.
Okay.
So that's how I felt. And by the way, I don't even care that she's racist. The thing is, if she's racist against me personally, I'm not going to support her. But I'm not going to lie. I will still listen to the old Fugees albums. I don't fast forward her verses. Like, her shit's hot. But I never went out. I never was a fan really anyway. And once I heard that, I was like, I'm definitely not buying her shit. I thought she was talented. But she became more of an R&B artist and it wasn't my style. And then when that came out, I was like, I'm not buying her stuff. So I understand both ways. Like, the thing is, if your kid was molested, you know, and you're like, I can never Michael Jackson because I feel like he did it, regardless of what the evidence was. No, I'm just saying, I'm speaking out randomly. And you feel that way, 100%, I back you.
Yeah.
Do I think what R. Kelly did was disgusting and do I think he's guilty? Yes. Do I listen to his music? Yes, sometimes. I'm not a big R. Kelly fan, but if it's on, I'm not turning it off.
I'll be honest with you, before I heard...
But I'm okay if you're like, that's fucked up, I don't want to hear it now.
I totally understand
it. I totally understand it.
Yeah.
I go both ways.
before I heard all this shit about R. Kelly, I was a huge R. Kelly fan. He's got some absolute bangers. Man.
Listen, it's not even my style of music, but you cannot say he's not talented.
Oh mate, he's got some bangers. He bringing.
You know he's barely literate.
Yeah, probably.
He can barely read, but the guy's a genius musically.
I won't be surprised, bro.
Yeah,
You
like
got
that's
to
the crazy
get
part.
over that. The old short legs. Yay!
Right. I'm on a solo podcast. With
sorry,
random voices. It's okay. Yeah.
I'm here. I'm just making a.
He's rolling up, which means you're smoking a cigarette over here. You know.
Smoking crack is what it means.
Yeah, crack. Wednesdays after 7.
Yeah.
What is that? That's called Rizzle.
Rizzle.
Rizza. Rizza. It sounds fake. Not to be confused with the guy from the Wu-Tang Clan,
Yeah,
which, you know.
That's why I love Joey. He just makes up words.
By the way, Rizza, if you want to send me a beat, bro, I'll take it. I'm not going to say no. And if you guys haven't checked it out already, definitely check out the Wu-Tang show. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Wu-Tang show?
They have a show. It's on Hulu.
I got Hulu, bro.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with them American things.
No, just sign up for a month, watch the Wu-Tang show and delete it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's the way to go, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, the Wu-Tang show is tight. It really is. It's like, they have some non-real things they change a little bit, but in general, it's the story of how they actually came together. It's a real story, you know? It's produced by the RZA.
Oh, the RZA.
The RZA.
The RZA.
The RZA. The
You said the Rizzle, bro.
That's what I said. I called that Rizzle, then you said, what do you call it?
No, you said the Rizzle. I was like, what the fuck?
I said Rizzle, then you called it what?
Rizla.
Rizla.
But his name is
Rizza. Which I said Rizla.
Right,
It sounds like Rizza.
Alright, now we're going chop.
Alright, let's cut that.
Chop it up, change it, motherfucker. Yeah, you can chop it if you want.
It's all live, it's all good.
Well, it's live now, but you can chop it and change it when you save it.
No, I don't.
But can you save it?
It's going to go live on YouTube exactly this way.
And then when it ends...
For all the boomers out there, this is how it's going to go.
But when it ends, you can save it, right?
It's going to be exactly the same, and then you can take clips, you can do whatever else. So you'll watch all of our ignorance and funny stuff. How long have we been going? I can't read that timer. An hour and some change, right?
1:11.
Alright, cool. I think we got maybe
What's
another
that?
10, another 15, whatever.
And that
We'll wrap
make
them
it
up.
take
Yeah,
us
maybe an hour and a
2
half. It's pretty long, you know?
No, 1:11's. We're hitting like 2, I think.
Hours?
I think.
Think
Well,
so?
1:20 is 2, isn't it?
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, wow. Okay, so
Oh yeah,
one.
why? Alright, one question.
Yeah.
Why?
Right, that's the other thing. This
one answer.
podcast's been fucking so good. We've talked about some mad, crazy, deep art stuff.
We have.
Random.
Why do Americans always put the month first and then the day after?
Yeah.
Okay.
So confusing.
I'm gonna answer your.
So confusing.
I'm gonna answer your question with a
It's
question.
like the 21st of the. What?
Yeah, what?
Fuck off.
I'm gonna answer your question with a question because I'm not 100% sure. I think I know, but I'm not sure. Okay. Forget writing it down. Forget doing all that. Look at your phone real quick.
I'm gonna do the same. Let's go.
Yeah.
Look at your phones. You ready?
Yeah.
Don't even unlock them. What's today's date?
Saturday, the 11th of June, 2022.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That's what she said.
Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Okay. Today is June 11th.
Yes.
Would you just say that's weird or people don't
No,
speak
but
like
when
that?
you write it down, it's confusing.
No, forget how you talk. Forget how you write. How do you talk? What would you say?
Yes. What you said.
It's
June
June
11th, you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say-
Because your phone says 11th of June. I mean, they're both right, but that's how we speak. So we say it's June 11th, so we write 06, which is June 11th. We write just how we speak.
No.
Now, if you guys say this 11th of June, I'm not saying you're wrong, but do you speak that way? That was my question. I don't know. So when I asked you the date, you did speak that way. You said it's the 11th of June. Do you say that normally?
Is he fucking with us right now? He's fucking with us, isn't he?
I'm very serious.
I think you're fucking with us right now.
I'm very
No, I
serious.
mean, if you said to me, what's the date?
Let me see your phone.
No. If you
No,
said to
you
me,
say
Lock it.
you say it's 06.
Yeah.
I.e. you put the month first.
06,
Yes.
yeah.
You put the month
and
first.
then
don't
11.
you?
So your
Yes.
phone-
Don't try to fuck.
No,
You try to fuck us.
Your phone both says the 11th of June.
Yeah,
But watch
it's
this.
Saturday.
Oh, I can't do it on my phone. It's right here. So my phone will say June 11th.
Okay.
That's how we speak.
Right.
So it's not just written. It's how
So
we
if you
speak.
say, what's the date today? It's the 11th of June,
Uh-huh.
of 2022.
We don't speak that way.
Okay.
We don't speak that way. So we will say it's June 11th.
And what's
No,
the
but
date?
the way you
And
write
what's the
it.
date? It's
We
Saturday.
write and speak the same. We
No, you
always say
don't.
the
You
month
don't.
first. June
No, you
11th.
don't. You say
No, 06,
We
11.
say
Yeah, you
11th
say
of
11. You
June.
put the date first.
Yeah, we
But
say
you
11th
speak that
of
way.
June.
You speak that way?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
11th of
So
June.
we speak
What's
the
today's
way.
date? It's 11th of June.
No. See, we don't
It's
say.
June the
But we
11th.
also don't say half past. We don't say it's
What
half
do you
past.
say then?
We would say we don't speak that way. But if we did, we would say we say 10:30.
So we can say either 10:30 or.
He's getting angry, huh?
But you do the half gas. You put the lower number in front of the big. It's always like the bigger first. You know what I mean? The only thing that's at the end is the year, because if you don't know what year it is, you've been tripping on some stuff. Unless it's New Year's. New Year's. I'll give you 2 days and you fall asleep. By the 2nd of January, if you don't know what year it is, sorry, bro. You gotta get your stuff together. No judging, but just get your stuff together. You know?
Yeah, go
So
I would suggest grow this one here, bro.
this one here,
Yeah,
super
you
long.
can play with my
The soul patch.
Play with my fucking
Yeah, yeah.
really long.
I did have it long for a bit.
I
just
can't
didn't enjoy
relate
it. Yeah.
because I don't have a beard.
Why not?
Yeah. Throw it out.
You must go out and play with a bit. Come
Oh
on.
my days.
All right, I think we're gonna leave it right there.
Let's
You
go.
guys got anything else you want to do? I think it was a
it
fun,
was-
awesome podcast.
It was excellent. Thank you very much for inviting me today.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, we
Joe
had-
Peoples, what episode?
Episode 12, I believe.
Wow.
You can double check on the thumbnail. If that's
Two.
right. And I'll explain to
Sign language,
I'll explain to
go.
this boomer how it works later. But I think for now, peace.
Peace out.
I was going to lock it, but yeah.
Got you.